just getting everything sourced in, figured out. You're a little bit quieter today. Are you away from your mic?
A little bit.
Okay,
Yeah, there we go.
perfect.
Fucking hell.
What?
Okay, yes, I want to use this to open up fucking PDFs. Why wouldn't I want to use Adobe to open PDFs, motherfucker?
Okay, that's funny.
Okay, also, the other annoying thing it does, it constantly, anytime I open up a PDF, it asks me, hey, do you want us to read this out loud to you? No! When did I ask for that?
Always, clearly.
It's like the computer's sitting there going, what do I do? It wants me to do something. Am I a paperweight? Am I a pencil? Oh no, I'm a computer.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Hello?
There we
There.
are.
Hello, human.
Yay!
Who is VoiceBot?
That is a music bot that I'm hoping will work a little bit better than Roll20 for setting ambience and everything like that.
Okay.
That's my hope, anyways. It's probably not going to work out as well, but we'll see. I'm testing things out. I'm trying to make it so that like I can give you guys a better experience over online. So we're testing things out. We're working on things.
Did you like how
Okay.
I got kidnapped
Excuse me.
by Justin, and even then I was like, hold on, let me grab my D&D stuff.
That's kind of funny, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Like the fact that you were just like, wait, hold up, give me a second. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys gonna be good to go? Like bio breaks and everything in the next minute or two?
Well, yeah, that's why I was a minute late. Holy fuck, that's a strong piece.
I hear the sound echoes beneath, angels and skylines meet, and I'm straining to reach the light on the surface, light on the other side. I feel the pages turning. I see the candle burning down before my eyes, before my wild eyes. I feel you holding me tighter. I cannot see. When will we finally
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost like you were sitting on it.
Play nice.
No.
No. No, we're gonna.
Also, bad news, Drew.
Oh.
Mesa's cat, Pico, died.
Oh no.
The orange one.
Oh no.
The big, fluffy one.
Oh wow.
Pico was
My
a
dyslexia
big
is
liver.
next level. Holy crap.
You're what?
I put the exclamation point in front of every single one of these plays. Oh, I'm amazing. Holy shite.
What? I'm confused.
Okay, so to enter a command, you go exclamation point and then put it forward.
Which is not playing right now.
Okay,
Okay, it is playing.
there
now.
we are. So, feel free to adjust it as you see fit.
As you would with somebody else's mic.
Exactly. Yeah.
With anything.
Kind of hard to do that over phone.
Well, that's your fault for being on a phone.
Well,
Actually, we can
anytime I
play-
go onto
was
my
basically just a
computer,
no
my
you.
voice craps out.
Mm.
Well, that's-
Oh, I figured it out.
So,
yeah.
yeah, hopefully this works out. If it doesn't, I mean, so be it.
Also, just for context, I'm having a little bit of a minor anxiety random moment, so
Mhm.
bear
All
with
good.
me. Don't ask why, because I
Nobody
can't
knows why.
tell you.
Why would
I don't
nobody
know why.
knows why?
My heart's just like, hey, guess what? You suck. And I'm like, oh, cool, thanks.
It's all good, man.
You ever have that thing where it almost feels like time's either kind of like just speeding down or slowing up, and you
Absolutely.
The
Yeah, yeah.
entirety of the pandemic, yes.
Yes.
no
for
no
the-
no 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 like for like just minutes at a time, like you just it feels like everything is moving so much faster around you. Or everything's just
It's
moving
well
really,
documented that
really
people with
slow.
ADHD have a terrible sense of time.
It's also documented that they supplement their lack of dopamine with excess sugar and caffeine.
Oh yeah.
First
Oh
off,
no.
um, shit.
Hold on. Hannah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna post this to the D&D chat. Give me
Oh
1
god.
second.
Are you gonna do your
Hold on. No.
Oh, that was
Okay, so as you said that, I was doing this. No, don't save.
Okay, one quick story before we get started. Last
Okay.
night I was talking with Adam about some D&D related stuff, and he sends me a picture on Facebook. He's like, "I'm gonna call you out," and I was like, "What do you mean you're gonna call me out? Like, it's whatever. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning," and he sends me a fucking picture.
No, I tag him in a post.
Or yeah, he tags me in a post where it's like the brain pic. You know what? I'm just gonna try and find it.
Oh, don't worry. Just look at your history and find it. I'm gonna get some more Dr. Pepper because
Yeah,
I'm
go
already
for it.
running out from the can.
Quick about it. Quick about it.
You should have made him roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him roll to go get more King Dr. Pepper. Okay.
Yeah, above a 10 he's allowed to. Below a 10 he has to stick it out.
Okay, there's your picture. This is what he sends me at 1 o'clock in the fucking morning while we're talking about D&D stuff. And I'm like, yo, you did not need to call me out that hard.
I did though. Because it's like stays up to 2 a.m. doing it. Meanwhile, it's 1 a.m. and we're doing it. We're just planning shit, and you're just fucking doing D&D shit. It's like, yep, fucking got you, bitch.
What
Fucking
photo?
hate you
Is it
so
on the chat?
It's
or...
in Discord. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, you know what? I'm going to set the mood. Because I can. I can do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This can't possibly end horribly.
Not at all, no.
Mm-mm. Let's see if this works.
I hear music.
I'm awesome. Hopefully this continues to work for the rest of the evening. All right. Last we left off, our intrepid adventurers, now known to the world as the Gilded Chimera, and by the world I mean about 2 people, 3 at most, but you'll get there. Finished off a rather lucrative quest, or some form of job. It's really tough to keep track of exactly what it is that you guys are attempting to do with this. Garnering a peace treaty with the Dryads that is going to be talked about after the Grand Festival. Finishing off once you had collected your payment and a little bit of extra courtesy of Kriya. You have made your way to the Olmos Entertainment Troupe, inviting not just Kriya along, but meeting up with Tura as well on the outskirts of the camp. A small confrontation breaking out that you easily sidestep by grabbing both of them and pulling them away from each other, much to their amusement. And so, we start this session. Ardwin, currently linked up with Kriya, being followed by 6 guards as he leads her away towards the massive main tent of the Olmos Entertainment Troupe. And Clover, now with Tura. Much an amused smirk adorning her face, as you both decide to follow behind and see if you can glean anything without them really noticing. And that is where we will begin tonight. So, Gilded Chimera. What are you gonna do?
Well, I think it's Arduin's turn first because I'm eavesdropping. So I need something to eavesdrop upon.
Okay. Arduin. Maxwell?
Yep, I hear you.
All right. Well, we'll start with you then. You have absconded, so to speak, with Lady Kriya, and are currently leading her towards the main tent of the Olmos Entertainment Troupe. Her 6 guards currently in tow.
All right. Where were these 6 earlier today? Probably could have come in useful if things had gone the wrong way.
Well, as you said, we were supposed to stick with just the 3 of you, so they would not have come in much handy. I just feel. That said, they belong to my brother. Not that he will be leaving the keep much this evening, but so be it.
Fair enough. So, it would seem that you do in fact know Tura a little more so than you had been letting on earlier. If your little confrontation between the two of you is anything to go by.
Well, I wouldn't say I know her, but as I stated, I know of her. It's difficult for noble houses to interact and not actually get to know one another on some scale. You understand, social events and the sort. It is what it is.
The degree of animosity between the two of you suggests that it's more personal than that was just political or familial.
Isn't everything political or personal in some degree? Her house is well known for, how to say, not blackmailing, but manipulating information, finding it and either keeping it for themselves or putting it to use elsewhere. Needless to say, we have been on the receiving end of the Slee household's, shall we call it, sharp tongue several times in the past. Clover, how are you? I know how Tura would go about eavesdropping. How are you following behind?
I don't quite understand the question of how are you eavesdropping.
So,
I'm
There
maintaining
is-
enough of a distance I can hear.
okay. So in that case, roll a perception check with advantage since you are attempting to hear things.
Time for the big dice.
Oh, big dice. Ooh, switching it up.
Well, regular sized dice.
Those are big dice.
Those are
So
massive
17.
dice. 17.
Now that's
okay.
role playing.
So you get the majority of that. It is broken up a little bit, but you've heard enough of Kriya's and Arduin's speech that you can kind of fill in the blanks, whereabouts a clank of armor or a passing turret member of the troop or civilian kind of breaks up the hearing. Also, since you're attempting to do this, I assume somewhat stealthily,
Oh,
correct?
stealthily? For sure.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
The tiny dice have betrayed me. 10!
Oh boy. Okay. So, Arduin,
Mhm.
as you are progressing forward, actually, just to, as you are progressing forward, Kriya is kind of glancing over at you for most of the time that you're progressing through the encampment, and doesn't really notice. You, however, do notice that both Tura and Clover are kind of leisurely working at the edge and kind of following through. And you do recognize, maybe not perfectly, but you at least can, based on your current, or based on the amount of time you spent with Clover, you kind of get the feeling that she may or may not be trying to listen in on your conversation.
Mhm.
You continue forward. Somewhat comfortable silence falling about as Kriya continues to lead you forward. I request, have you seen the performance yet?
I've seen little bits and pieces of it, but I haven't sat through the whole thing as of yet.
Well, this will be a first for the both of us then.
Indeed.
You both stride up to the front of the tent. There is a, let's call him a bouncer of sorts. A fairly large, muscular dwarf standing at the edge of the tent flap, taking payment from everyone who attempts to enter. You do hear his bellowing voice long before you see him. Come one, come all! The traveling entertainment Olmos will start their main performance soon. Continues to take money from everyone. It's a fairly decent crowd that has lined up, and you both end up, despite Kriya's standing, still having to wait in said line until eventually reaching the front. Dwarf doesn't even really glance up to see, it's just... And for the two of you, of course, it's gonna be 5 copper apiece. Special entrance for the final evening.
Certainly, good sir.
Takes it. You kind of hear a little tisk as Kriya puts her hand out to stop you from grabbing the money pouch, and just dwarf kind of glancing up. It appears we have a special guest this evening. Excellent. Well, for the both of you, your bodyguard and you, free entrance. Just make sure to pass around the word. We're moving into the city next. Waves you in. He does stop the 6 guards. Oh, if the 6 of you want to be in, you're gonna have to pay. Kriya
They
just
can stand at the back and provide security for all of us, can they not, Lady Kriya?
I dare say they will find the performance quite dreary, so perhaps it is best that they stand guard by the front.
If you say so. I'm gonna just kind of glance at the dwarf if he's like cool with this.
He just shrugs his shoulders.
All right.
I'm not one to argue with a noble. 6 guards peter off to the side. now a much more, shall we say, intimidating presence by the front of the tent.
If anything, they should have charged us extra.
Clover,
Mm-hmm.
you and her are keeping a bit of a distance. Amidst the crowd, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but hearing exactly what they're talking about amidst a crowd of, probably close to 20 or 30 people, not exactly the easiest. You more or less just make an assumption based on the interaction as well as what the guards are doing, more or less what the conversation had been about. Eventually, you and Tura arrive at the same dwarf, this time standing a little more attentive. Well, we're just having all the royalty coming in. Nobles left, right, and center. We're not even gonna make anything this evening, but go on in and make sure to spread the word. Olmos is moving into the city tomorrow. We want to make a real fucking splash then.
Would I have been able to hear earlier that it cost 5 copper?
What did you roll earlier for your perception? 16 or 17?
Well, I'm sure even just people like
17
ahead of you in
17.
line after us.
Yeah.
You don't hear exactly. Just hold on. You don't hear the price from Kriya, but you do hear it several times from various people as they stumble forward or wander forward.
I want to give the dwarf at the front the 5 copper anyway.
Kind of gives you a toothy grin. Now there's a lass who knows exactly how to get the gods on her side. We will put this to good use, thank you. Enjoy the performance
Your
tonight.
time is just as valuable as mine is.
I hardly doubt that. Bodyguards to nobles, I'm sure, get paid a wee bit more than I do, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
So I will march in with Kriya. Not Kriya, Tura.
Tura.
Yeah.
Erland.
I am here. Yes.
So, what would you be doing this evening? They have requested some help. Your mentor, Keldy, the fortune-telling turtle. It's been a fairly lucrative evening. However, it is starting to, since the main performance is starting, a lot of the business has kind of petered off. And she does kind of give you the look of, you're not needed anymore.
Well, all right then. I assume at this point I'm not part of the main performance, am I?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to watch.
Okay.
I don't know. It's something I've seen before, but
Well, you know it's ever changing based upon the travel, but it's always fun to see nonetheless. So you make your way over. The crowd's more or less dwindling up at this point as most people have entered the tent. Your friend by the front. Or maybe not friend, but well, family friend.
we're all family here.
You're all family there.
Give me a second there. I just had food delivered to me.
Yay!
Is it the mint ice cream Mom sent me pictures of?
No, not the ice cream yet. That's setting.
You'll have to tell me how it is.
You'll tell
Well.
how all of us. You'll tell all of us how it is. Torowin, the dwarf, one of the better repairers of the place, and fairly good with his hands when it comes to a fight as well. So, sees you approaching. Ah, Erland, Just in time. Just sneak in the side. I'm sure that nobody will notice.
And even if anybody does, I
doubt
work
they'll
here.
fucking care anyways.
Feeling alright?
What?
You feeling alright? You got a bit of a cough there.
Oh, not a cough. It's just really crappy laughter. Might have inhaled. Might have inhaled something earlier, but it's all right. I'm fine.
Well, as long as you're fine. I'll see myself in.
Right, you will.
This is the point where I say to you, to the DM, I see myself in.
Making your way into the tent. You've seen this several times, but for everyone else, it's a bit of a shock. The tent itself, while it is massive on the exterior, it almost feels larger once you're inside of it. The tent itself is, you estimate, at least 60 feet tall at the highest point. There's a fairly large center staged area, the rest of the tent more or less allowing visitors and people who are watching to either sit on somewhat rickety wooden benches, very crude. The rest can either stand at the perimeter, this massive center staged area, more or less forming a half or three-quarters circle, with nary just a small portion kind of blocked off for the entertainers to use. The majority of the inside is lit currently by torches. They are all over the place. And Erland, as you enter in, you go ahead and roll a perception check, just because there is a lot of people here.
Rolling. Fucking nat 1.
Seriously? Okay,
First
but
roll of night,
Oh,
baby.
what is the
It's the
actual total? Because it's a
like
really fucking
3.
low DC.
I think it's 3. Give me a
3?
second. Hold on. Let me get my Yes, 3.
Okay. You do not see any of your friends. Clover and Tura, you've procured seats. Clover, you kind of unfortunately have to stand on the bench to see over the top, but it's workable. The Erland and Kriya, you both were allowed seats closer to the front. Not quite what I would call the prime seats, but close enough. A lot of people do recognize the nobility with that Kriya basically carries with her. It's sort of an aura, almost an air about it. Most of the people in the city recognizing her, kind of shifting out of the way, allowing a better seating position. All right. So, just gonna grab a piece of music, set the mood.
So now that we're seated and we're still just waiting, I'm going to ask Kriya.
Hmm?
I'm going to ask Kriya a few questions.
Sure. You have about a minute or two, so feel free.
Curiously, Kriya, what are you hoping to get out of this negotiation now that it's going forward?
That is a good question. An end to the bloodshed would be, of course, preferable. My mother sees it as a potential weakening of the beastum, and potentially we could be allies with the Dryads eventually. Obviously not immediately. That would be quite the sight. But nonetheless, it would be quite nice to have new allies.
Allies, eh?
That is my hope. It's maybe not the hope of everyone, but well, we don't go by everyone. We go by what is best for the whole.
What does your brother want to get out of all of this?
That is a phenomenal question. You should. Whatever she was about to say is cut off as torches that had surrounded the area individually just slowly snuffing out. The smoke that comes off of them congealing and moving upwards to create this torrent of darkness that completely envelops the upper echelon of the tent itself. Slow hush breaking over the crowd as soft music begins to break out from the silence. Wooden flutes and deep low notes, more or less making up the backbone of the music that is being played. Strings and other instruments slowly adding in their own melodies, eventually echoing throughout the darkened interior. Kind of mixture of natural sounds and man-made, drawing you in until there's a snap. Single bright starlight appears in the middle of the air. The smoke immediately gravitating towards it and swirling around, almost darkening it completely until just brief beams of light seem to shoot out from the mist. The smoke congealing and falling down until it finally connects with the stage. With a flourish and a blast of wind, the smoke and the music are almost swept away, leaving small star of light resting in the outstretched hand of someone you recognize, Razada Almas. Stepping forward, she holds the starlight in her hand and allows it to rest there for a moment, briefly making eye contact with the majority as she kind of rotates her head around, making sure everyone is paying attention. Greetings, and may the grace of Lyra watch on our celebrations this evening. The traveling entertainers of Olmos welcome you with open arms and open hearts. Come, travel with us tonight. Fill your minds with wonderful memories as we take you with us on a grand journey around our magnificent realm. The starlight slowly rising in her hand as she speaks, eventually illuminating in sort of a spotlight fashion her body as well as a small portion of the stage, but by proxy it darkens the rest of the performance area quite substantially. Our first stop of the evening is the familiar yet ever-changing cliffs of the Gunnergath Spires, a place one may find great beauty if they have the right guide, yet be warned, one wrong step can spell utter disaster. The star continues to rise from her hand to the top of the tent. It illuminates the surrounding area just briefly, where you can see crude wooden trapezes being erected, ropes swinging out from rings, some fake rocks. It's relatively a crude recreation of the spires themselves. And then it flashes. You're briefly blinded, and as the white glare eats away and slowly the lit area begins to form again, the crude contraptions are replaced by these seemingly real-sized, massive floating boulders, endlessly circling around the small, distinct light at the very center. The stones emitting an unnatural glow, hinting at their illusionary properties. Standing on the top of the largest rock, nearly 20 feet above you, you spot a white-haired Kor. His tribal tattoos glowing brightly amidst the rocks as he brings his arms out to the side and drops 2 small metal hooks attached to rope coils around his arm. The sound of metal impacting wood as opposed to rock, temporarily breaking the illusion ever so slightly until he falls purposefully off the back of the illusionary stone. A gasp echoing out from the crowd as he falls for what seems like an eternity before flipping gracefully in air, lashing out with one of the hooks, the rope going taut on his arms as he swings gracefully down to a lower stone, landing with a practiced step. Kriya leans over to you, Arduin. This is the performance of your friend's family?
Well, it would seem so.
This is quite something. I have not seen something it's fantastic.
I'd heard of them and groups like them before, but I can't have to say I'm rather impressed with it all so far.
There's a certain, how to say, we are very pro-human around here, but they bring a certain elegance to the core that, frankly, I had not seen before. It's quite fascinating.
I cannot remember for the life of me where I read this, but I once read somewhere that, or heard someone say that art bypasses or transcends everything else. It's something that everyone understands.
That is very wise. I did not expect a soldier to have such recollections.
Well, I did for a very short while try and become a monk, and then the allures of service drew me away from all that.
A monk?
Second son of a almost noble family, seldom has much more choice than either the church or the service.
You're a noble as well?
No,
Oh,
although my brother is doing his damnedest to change that back home.
very driven, I assume.
Hold on, you just cut out for the last time. Just give me 1 second.
While he's unfuculating that,
Try again. Alright, yep.
Clover,
Yes.
go ahead and roll a perception check with
We're gonna
advantage.
use the big dice because little dice have betrayed me.
Roll
Oh,
one of
the
each.
second one was a natural 20.
Okay.
How dare they betray
With
you?
perception, that's a plus
Well,
2,
while
so
there
+6.
is music, and while there is gasps and awes and spattering applauses as the core figure swings his way around the trapeze area, flipping and turning as he does so. And a very both impressive strength display, but also agility, display of core agility on such unstable areas. You almost perfectly hear the conversation that is going on between Kriya and Arduin from where you are. You're able to just pinpoint it as if your eyes and ears are connected. Exactly where you're looking is exactly what you're hearing. So for the purposes of the rest of the conversation, you hear everything. Okay.
Alright, if you could repeat Lady Kriya's last line.
Must be very... Well, he must be very driven then.
Yes, that's certainly one way to put it. What about yourself? If you weren't in line to be a successor, what would you do?
I have not had the privilege of having that sort. I don't know. Frankly, the life outside of this escapes me. I don't know. I myself am very driven, but more so for the sake of my family. I guess your brother and I have something in common then.
Oh, you've never thought about just what would happen if everything all of a sudden changed, or you, as a teenager, entertained ideas of running away and doing something different? Oh, come on. Every teenager entertains that idea at least once.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion? Persuasion plus 3, 16.
You catch a small hint of guilt in her eyes. It's quickly washed away as she... No. I would never... My mother has done right by me, and I will do right by her. That is all there is to it.
Nothing bad in it. Everyone dreams, daydreams. Something that is impossible.
And just like this performance, they will stay dreams. Almost on cue, the surrounding audience erupts in applause, and you look up as the core flips in seemingly impossible ways. The hooks themselves, coils of rope just lining on his arm and going taut as he immediately lands on the stage floor, rolling to dissipate whatever impact there was, and standing with his arms outstretched in a very practiced stance. The applause erupting as he takes a deep and sudden bow, snapping back up and waving. As the applause dies down, he starts to take a few steps back. Eventually, the darkness of the edges of the stage is concealing him entirely. I need to find a way to, like, fade that music out.
Very abrupt.
I know,
Just
right?
lower the volume a little bit.
And someone shot all of the musicians in the room suddenly.
That sweet arrow storm.
Rosda steps forward once more, the light at the center of the performance slowly lowering, and with it, the illusion and the rocks slowly dissipating into nothing. The core's tattoos fading away until you can't even see him at the edge of the stage. Rosda taking her seemingly natural stance at the center of the stage area once more. From the winds of the spires to the darkness of the jungle, the blood jungles of the Tabaxi have long been regarded as one of the most dangerous but enticing places to visit. Luckily for you, our guide Twilight is well versed in handling these creatures that seek to attack us from the shadows. Starlight flashes, this time disappearing altogether.
Uh-oh, we just lost someone.
It's fine, don't worry.
No, it was the bot.
Rhythmic drumming starts to take form. The vibrations of the drums seeming to heat the air itself as a somewhat comfortable warmth seeps into your skin. A single stream of moonlight suddenly opening from the center of the top of there. You don't even see whoever has opened up the slit, and it eliminates at the very center of the stage where Rosda had formerly stood a silver-spotted and furred tabaxi, blue robes hanging loosely over her form as she stands perfectly still in this somewhat tranquil light. More and more rays of the moon flit and filter through the canopy. They craft shapes and illusions, and almost creating the feeling of being in a dense canopy jungle in the evening. Areas of shadow and light intertwining until you are looking at the tabaxi before you through just a sheet of pale moonlight. As you're watching, there's a flash of movement between different rays, catching your attention as you watch something within the shadows start to move towards the tabaxi at great speed, pouncing at her exposed back. Despite the element of surprise, the strike sails wide, the creature passing by her as she simply leans to the side, adopting what looks to be some sort of martial pose in response as it twists and lands, still illuminated by the moonlight. It stands, wisps of shadows that play at the edges of its form, moving as if to escape from the light. You recognize the shape, though. It's identical to the tabaxi before it. The creature's form appearing as an almost carbon copy of Twilight's own form. The moment this fact registers, it rushes forward, driving Twilight back with a flurry of blows. Twilight responding in kind, as they begin this kind of intricate battle dance. The fight's moving around the area as the seconds tick by. Both entities matching each other perfectly, their bodies moving in unison to create this elegant yet dangerous dance, clearly meant for only the two of them. Fists and feet meeting perfectly or missing their marks by seemingly hair's width. The dark and light patches illuminating and hiding their forms over and over until it seems their blows are only connecting when lit by the moonlight. The drums picking up a frenzied pace as their attacks grow more and more ferocious. You see the blue robes of Twilight showing tears and rips as her form blurs from the speed she moves to keep up with her very own shadow. And then a boom! As their legs finally meet in an explosive kick, both holding the strike for a second before the shadow form dissipates completely into mist. The echoes reverberating around the tent, leaving Twilight alone, silent, and illuminated with nary but sweat and torn robes to show what just occurred. Applause erupts again as the canopy of illusions is slowly covered once more, Twilight bowing deeply before walking back into the darkening stage area. The temperature in the tent, however, despite the silence, remaining quite warm. Clover.
Yes.
As Tura claps, she leans over. So, what are they talking about?
Well, honestly, nothing all that interesting so far. Mostly just oh, what would you have been if you weren't a noble? Conversation. Do you have other dreams?
Other dreams.
Which, well, it's a reasonable question.
Oh, of course it's a reasonable question. It's just,
The answer is a little obvious.
for us, yes. Yes, they are.
It's like asking a mouse folk who has Meadowguard parents, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I assume a meadow guard.
You assume correctly.
Tell me, do you trust Kriya?
I wouldn't. That's. I don't want to seem overly harsh, but I wouldn't say she's earned my trust quite yet, but she has earned the potential for trust. She has only ever acted logically and in her own and in the city's best favors, which is fairly predictable. She wasn't outright aggressive against the Dryads we negotiated with, even though,
Which I find...
I
I apologize, but I find that hard to believe, frankly.
I understand that, but even in a situation where you would expect resentment and aggression, she had neither. So while I don't know if I would trust her yet, I feel personally that trust is something that is built over a long period of time. She hasn't done anything to negatively affect the building of trust.
That's fair. That's fair. Granted, she's not bad. She's just, well, a bit misguided.
How so?
Well, you haven't really told me much of what went on at the estate. So, have you met her mother?
She's very scary, and yes,
Scary is one way of putting it, yes. She plays the long cons a lot. In a way, she's a better ruler than her late husband, but in other ways, well, she's made enemies. Let's say that.
well, I assume any ruler of a city would make a reasonable amount of enemies.
Fair. Listen, when this performance is done, I'd like to talk to the three of you. I've found someone who could potentially help us with our, how to say, Vilmo estate interests.
Well, that's very good.
Yes.
Do I see, oh god, I am forgetting Adam's character right now.
Erland.
Erland. Do I see Erland right now? I know he's like, ooh, look at
Roll a
10,
perception
but-
check, not with advantage though, because you're doing a visual search for people amidst a crowd of hundreds.
I rolled good anyway. Non-natural 20.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work very
That'll
well.
do it. And I'm very sorry, but I drank my pina colada. It was very strong.
Don't worry about it.
We can tell.
Yeah, no, you easily pick him out, standing a little bit closer to the door. He's found a good angle to view the performance, but his gaze is on the performance. He is not paying attention to you at all.
Okay. So it'll be easy to find the other two at the end of the performance. That's good.
Yeah. As you kind of are glancing around, you're startled as fire springs to life in the center of the stage as opposed to the usual starlight that you have grown accustomed to. Razda stepping forward from the darkness that clings to the stage edges. From the heat of the jungle to the fire that dwells within the Anvil Mountains, lay witness to our final performance and the beauty of those holy fires. Pray to Moradin that they keep you from being burned. The fire roars and flares up in response to her words, briefly blinding you before settling back down to a small torch-sized flame, illuminating a red-skinned tiefling standing right behind it. A thick leather strap held in their hand, slowly feeding it more and more until the leather itself is dropped into the flame. The brief scent of sandalwood wafting through the tent as the leather crackles and burns until they snap their wrist. The flame lifting up, seemingly now attached to the end of the leather band, soars high into the air, whipping around the tiefling's body with ferocious speed, leaving a bright trail of flames licking behind it. The tiefling moves incredibly quickly, far faster than you can reasonably keep up, twirling and dancing about, the flame easily missing every part of their body as they twirl it in an ever intricate display, faster and faster, the tail of the flame expanding further and further as they rotate and spin the ball. Intricate glyphs and symbols are seemingly being written in the very air as they move, just barely seen for a second before they flash out, the trail of flame licking behind it. Eventually, the trail becomes so long, the tiefling becomes this swirling mass of flaming tails that moves around the stage. The thick trail of fire behind it is scales and a snout, and the body of a creature slowly form all the way around the edge of the stage area. The heat radiates out from this, the fire illuminating not just the tent, but the entire crowd and area. The heat, it's not immeasurable, but it's quite noticeable even from a few stages back. You can only imagine what the people at the very front could potentially be feeling. There's a final flourish, and the coiling form of a wyvern seems to come to life, following after this tiefling as it wields the ball as almost a dog on a chain would. Dancing around the edges, the form of the wyvern slowly following in a pulsing and ever-moving and living flame representation until there's a sudden thump. And this wondrous illusion is just gone. The fire extinguishing out of existence, and you see the tiefling collapsed and fallen to the ground. The tiefling's form is unmoving as Rosada herself walks out, the tent more alight and more aglow with the torches that had been put out, seemingly now relit by the performance. She walks forward, the tiefling's form being swallowed up by the darkness as she seems to walk by it, the form moving seemingly without force and not by its own power. This is the end of our journey tonight. Tomorrow, however, the journey will continue within the walls of this great city, and we pray that you join us again. More memories can be burned into your mind as brightly as these ones tonight. Take care, and may Lyra watch over you all. Quick bow, the quick breath from her, and all the torches immediately snuff out. A second passes, 2, and the torches snap on it once more, revealing an entirely empty stage. It takes a second, but eventually a rapture of applause erupts out of the crowd as they finally register the end of the night's performance. And with it, the illusion is broken. Rosada, as well as the performers, stepping out onto stage, showing their thanks, waving, a few bow. The core making his way over to a few of the females of the crowd who reach out, gently kissing their hands and giving them somewhat questionable looks. The tabaxi cold and ever unmoving, standing, arms crossed, a smirk adorning her face. Rosada herself regal in her pose. Simple waves, simple smiles, and directing everyone to leave the tent.
Was the tiefling waving at the final?
The tiefling is there as
Vows?
well, yeah.
Okay.
A little more subdued, but very much a, let's call it a cocky. The kind of smirk and stance that is adorned by someone who not only did they know that they not only do they know they did good, but they also know how awesome it was, and they are not going to let anyone tell them otherwise.
So do they look
Alright.
dizzy or slightly unstable at all? Because that sounded like that wasn't
Roll an insight check.
quite
Yeah, that was what I was wondering,
part
is
of the
whether or not
performance.
Do I just straight up know?
Oh, you know.
would I roll an insight for that too? Because that was what I was
Insight
wondering, is if that was
Yeah.
intentional.
You both can roll an insight check, yeah.
Wow, 2
13.
18s in a row. Let's see. Insight is a +4, so that is a 22.
Okay.
Wow.
Ardwin?
I said multiple times 13.
13? Okay. You're on the fence. 50% of you says that it was an accident. 50% of you says it was on purpose and part of the performance. And you're kind of back and forth. You're like, but that was like so sudden. Like, there's no reason that he would that they would end it that quickly. And then the other half is views like, but it seemed rehearsed. Like Rosetta didn't even bat an eyelash, and she just stepped out there. There was the movement. Like it had to be planned. Yeah, but it was like that didn't sound like.
I'm consulting Korea.
Hold on. Erland and Clover.
Yeah.
Erland especially. Clover, you suspect that it was definitely not on purpose. You see the subtle sweat drops as well as the kind of small shakes in his hand. The kind that a person still dropping down from their adrenaline high would get after a somewhat almost disastrous moment.
They're just playing it off really well.
That they're just playing it off very well. Erland, you know absolutely without a fact that he fucked up. Yeah. Atlas, the fire dancer, you know for a fact normally he likes to end the performance with a moment where he throws the fireball up and the wyvern head kind of clamps down on it, and that's where the performance would normally end. You know for a fact he fucked up.
Great.
All right.
The crowd starts to make their way out of the tent. They draw you with them. It's almost like a sea of people. The movement and the need to get out of the tent, very easily seen. And you could fight against it, but you are also aware that there's no real reason to do so.
It's like deboarding a plane.
Exactly. You all follow.
Everyone's like, suddenly I need to leave.
They do give Kriya enough space, but all the same, ushered out with the same urgency in the same sense. Everyone is alight. Everyone is talking, and you can hear all over the place various commoners and other folk just, did you see that? That had to be a mistake. Like, he has to be hurt after that. But that was amazing. The wyvern did you see it's just a cacophony of people who are either seeing this for the first time or people who are seeing this as a consecutive series of performances. Oh, you have to see the next one. There's this other person who they bring in this big kind of globulate of water. It's amazing. It just keeps going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
Kriya eventually making her way out of the tent. Snap of her fingers and the 6 guards fall in line. Makes her way off to the side to allow the rest of the folk easy access out while she takes stock, dusting her dress slightly. Well, that was quite exhilarating. We will, I feel like my mother would quite have enjoyed that.
What do you think? Think that Tiefling passed out there at the end?
I couldn't say. This is my first time seeing a performance quite of this nature. It seems like it was part of the show, but they could have just rehearsed for that kind of outcome. It was amazing, though.
One way or another, they're professionals who seem to do a very good job.
My decision to bring them into the city, this is wonderful. We will have to set them up outside the Petal District so that the city can fully enjoy the performance that they put on.
That would be a good spot, I think.
Clover.
Mm-hmm.
As well as Erland. Erland, make a perception check with advantage this time. Because it is next to impossible for you. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to get to your roll. If you can't notice 6 armed guards, Ardwin, Kriya, standing off to the side as you make your way out of the tent.
Also, as we're on our way out of the tent, do I see that dwarf there?
The kind of guy collecting money.
Bouncer, gatekeeper dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's
All right.
he's holding the flap open with a another member of the troop, just kind of ushering. Thank you. Yeah, please come again. Yeah,
As
we're in the city.
we walk
Yep.
by him, I'm going to kind of hold out a somewhat low key piece of silver in my palm and just shake his hand and say thank you in Dwarvish because I know Dwarvish.
Eyebrow raised, and he responds in Dwarvish. Much obliged, sir.
All right. That's it.
Okay.
Figure we ought to have paid because wow, seriously, fucking nobles.
Uh,
They're like, I'm already rich, so I don't need to give money to anybody else.
Tura and Clover, you both notice Kriya and Arduin, as well as Erlin, because I assume he's going to stop, or
He'd be the first one out,
yeah,
or of us.
Adam.
yes.
Okay, you are there. Small group. Kriya, 6 guards, Arduin, Erland. Everyone's there.
So, what did you think of the performance? Quite a
I
show, is it not?
Indeed, I've never seen anything quite like that. I have to say, I'm impressed.
Yes, it was. This is my second time seeing it, but it's amazing that they are able to change up the performances so radically. The first time I saw it, it was nothing like this.
Wait till you see some of our plays.
I look forward to it.
Our entertainment group almost is not a one-trick pony, as it would to be said.
Well, that was
that's
good
what's
to
fucking
hear.
me up.
That is very good to hear. We will. I was just telling Adwin here. We will have to get you set up just outside the Petal District in the park areas that we have down there. It is. We need to have this performance happening in the city. It's phenomenal.
But do you think the city folk would be kind to my people?
We might have to make some arrangements and pass the word around, but rest assured, you are guests within the city. You have been endorsed now by.
I'm sure you'll handle it.
I will handle it, but I'm sure Tura here can also spread the word that the traveling entertainment group of Omos is to be seen and not, shall we say, disturbed.
I would greatly appreciate it.
Turek rolls her eyes. Yes, I will pass the word, as you say.
And I'm going to fairly quickly kind of jump in. Lady Kriya, will you be staying with us any longer tonight, or are you heading back to your family's place in the city?
As much as I appreciate it, I will not be staying in this troops encampment.
No, I meant just for any further performances tonight.
I believe that is the last one of the evening. So yes, I will likely be.
Was it? Because I thought some of the crowds were saying they were going to others, or no? Or was it just smaller things?
Smaller things. So there's definitely other attractions. There's fortune telling, and as Erlin said, there are plays and other things that happen all over the place. But they're smaller scale. This was their main performance of the evening.
All right.
Well, very well. You all have yourselves a good evening. Oh, Gilded Chimera members, if you would be so kind as to attend to seeing and reporting to my mother in the morning at the Ascendant Court, I will pass along the word myself of what happens, but as they've requested, she did want a follow-up. So, just something to do tomorrow. Preferably
course.
early. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. I bid you good do. Madame Celie. Lady Kriya.
It's been lovely.
You as well. Turns
Okay.
I'll just
Yeah.
give a bow to her.
turns hotly on her heels and 6 guards in tow. Makes her way outside of the encampment. See Tura's shoulders slacken and her posture drop a little. Oh, I thought she would never leave. Oh, that feels so much better.
Oh, so I have
Mensch-
ice cream.
Yay!
Eventually, I'm going to get the story of your straight between one of you two, at least, and it's going to be rather amusing, I hope. All right. Now that the formalities are all over, shall we go find Zoa, sit down, talk, maybe have a drink?
Actually, yes, I have a. I know it's a little late, but I have a. Shall we say. Interesting place that I would like to take you to.
Ah,
So,
Oh.
Lady Kriya is gone?
Lady
Yeah.
Kriya is gone, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just say, and you did mention that you had someone you would like us to meet.
Ah, yes, sorry, did she refer to you as the Gilded Chimera?
Ah, yes, we did choose a name for ourselves.
be thankful we didn't go with my original idea of the
Yes,
small
be thankful.
swords.
Yes, well, small
The
swords
imagination
can be,
of this one.
well, small swords can be quite effective.
Oh dear.
Trust me, I was quite a ways into a bottle of wine that I could never hope to afford when I came up with that ridiculous idea. Thankfully, Clover is far more astute in that regard.
I take it.
I had far less to drink.
I take it the Liege state put you up for that one.
Yes.
Mm.
They had
Yes,
lovely baths
Provided us quite lovely, yes, food,
and
dinner,
bread
the whole
and
shebang.
cheese.
Cheap. Well, they have quite a bit more than that. I can assure you. Noble estates. Well, you'll see mine eventually. Probably sooner than later, I imagine. Now that being said, well, let's be off. We can chat in a slightly more, how to say, secure area.
Okay.
Lead the way.
Okay. And while you're traveling there, let's go ahead and take a quick bio break.
Okay.
All right.
1 second. right. Okay, we're gonna jump back into things.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
The menu was simple.
No, all good. All right, hit it.
Yeah, I already hit it a while back. So, welcome back, everyone back. Everyone back. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Do me a favor, never go to the performance ever again, so I don't have to plan for more of this shit.
I was
Going to the
really not
performance
expecting you
tomorrow.
to be that
I was-
descriptive.
I was quite impressed.
Oh, thank you. That
We're
was
totally going to do it again.
no.
It's already background noise. Make it background noise.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, you can't tell us not to do something. We're immediately gonna do that thing.
That's fair. You know what? That's 100% fair.
You've known me since
Not
I
you,
was
bitch.
14,
It-
and you don't expect this?
It
It's
was
on you to
legitimately
economize the issue.
It was more just how to say. It took me a while to get the concept and everything going through there, and to come up with a different.
Anyways, we'll have something for us to do.
Yes. Tura does have something for you to do. Follow her, bitch. I mean, what? So, now that we're back, Tura does lead you away from the entertainment troupe. And bear in mind, at this point, it is likely around Erland, you know this for a fact. It is 10:16 in the evening. So fairly late. You follow behind the crowd of people as they make their way back into the city. As a matter of fact, you're able to circumvent things a little bit based on the fact that the guards take one look at you, take one look at Tura, and immediately just wave you in rather than checking for things. Still glaring at you, of course, Erland, but they don't.
But I don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit. So, she begins to lead you down. You all, being that you've been in the city a good number of times, you recognize that she leads you further and further in towards what would be the Foreign Quarter, which is off to the side from the marketplace district. The streets themselves, rather quiet. Not a lot of people, not a lot of traffic. It's a very different place when it's late at night. There are torches, there's candles, there's light aplenty for you to see, but it's just quiet. No one's really out. There's the odd soldier that's patrolling or checking up on things, but not much else.
I'm gonna just keep following her.
Where approximately are we off to, sir?
You're a little bit farther from your mic.
Where approximately are we off to, sir?
Well, I can tell you a lot more than approximate. We're going to a little tavern that I know.
Ah,
Don't worry, they have accommodation, let's say. It's just
alright.
a little more private for this conversation. I'm starting to get a little paranoid, and I'd prefer to talk about these things in a place that isn't going to judge me for it.
Understood.
She leads you and stops at the edge of an alleyway, kind of glancing about to make sure no one's looking before leading you all down. About halfway down, there's a, you would call him a guard. He appears to be dressed in some form of armor, but it's wrong. Even to someone not perceptive, they're not an official member of the Atlantic Keep. Their colors and the style of the armor, it's just wrong.
I'd almost imagine it's more of a guild or gang affiliation.
guard holds up their hand. Tura quickly looking back and forth. They're with me? Guard finally relents after a second. Steps off to the side. There's a dark, almost black doorway that he was standing in front of. And as Tura opens it up, you're met with the sound of cooking, of kitchen staff. People making food of some sorts. There's pots and pans and knives aplenty. People moving about, not quite in the frenzied manner that you would imagine, but they're still producing food for the evening. She leads you in and immediately turns off to the right-hand side, not even entering into the cooking area, and leads you towards a secondary pitch-black door. This one with a small slot in it. She quickly rummages around in her pouch for a second before producing a single coin that she slots in. A panel in the door ripping across. Tura slamming shut and reopening, and the door opening before you.
Is she entering?
She walks forward, leading the rest of you in. There's a well-dressed half-elf off to the side. And they look curiously at the three of you before Tura just waves. They're with me, don't worry. Is the private booth available? Half-elf kind of looks confused, but nods as she leads you further and further. You enter into a very interesting sort of tavern area. Whereas most taverns are well lit and adorned with various pieces of decorations and such that creates a certain atmosphere, this almost seems devoid of it. Majority of the wood appears to be this blackened sort of almost burned look to it. Any sort of accents are mostly gold and yellow, creating this very intricate, ostentatious look. But all the same, the overall theme and the overall look of the tavern appears just to be black and devoid almost. She leads you into the back area, back part of the tavern, where there is a sort of booth area with a curtain, quickly ushering you in before pulling the curtains. This very flush, almost velvet purple color closed. Immediately the sounds of the outside area becoming muffled. Right. Well, that makes me feel a little better.
So, where exactly are we?
Oh, right. Well, this would be called the Five Horns Cross, but obviously we're not really in their, how to say, main establishment.
Yeah, no, I got that. I need... Yes.
Would you
Details?
would you all care for a drink or something similar?
Sure.
Something to eat would be good.
Oh, I would take a drink.
Yes. She opens the curtain, kind of waves her hand. An immaculately dressed human steps forward. Gloss black hair, no distinguishing facial features. Very handsome. Dressed in black with the same kind of gold accents that you've seen previously. dark cloth held just in his hand. Yes, Lady Kriya?
Well, what? Lady Kriya.
Sorry, Tura. Getting my names mixed up.
Jesus.
Yes, Lady Tura? She kind of gestures to the rest of you.
Whiskey, thank you.
Same, so.
What do you have in the way of snacks?
We have several snacks, as you can call them. Would you be looking for something hearty or something light?
I would say light.
I believe the chefs have some sort of concoction involving bread and some form of cheese available. It's a bit of a lighter appetizer size. Is that to your
Yes, that please. Thank you.
Excellent. What kind of... You said, what was it, whiskey?
Maybe a bourbon, something nice, neat, please.
What's something interesting and local?
Several things are interesting and local. Are you into the, how to say, finer things of life, or are you into the more average?
Let's
Something
start with something
human.
simple.
Very well.
Of the city, human-based. I've been on the road quite a while, so I've experienced what you would call exotic.
I think this will be a different kind of exotic, but nonetheless, very well, that will be, about 4 gold, Tura. Tura quickly reaches into her pouch and counts out 4 gold pieces, sliding them across the table. Everyone make a perception check.
Yeah.
15.
11.
3.
There it is.
Sorry, what did you roll, Arduin? 13?
I rolled 12 plus my 3.
Okay, so 15. Arduin, you are the only one who would notice this. The coins themselves, while they are similar to your standard gold coin that you are fairly familiar with, they do appear to have some sort of accenting around the inside parts of the coin. A little bit of blackened accents at various points that, while not immediately noticeable, does seem to distinguish them a little bit from just a normal gold piece.
As soon as the bartender leaves us, I'll say to Tura, I take it this place doesn't exactly run on the gold standard.
What a clever way of putting it. Yes, they're a little bit different, let's say. I'm not... as I told Clover earlier, I've linked up with someone who would be able to potentially help. What? I've linked up with someone who might be able to help us with our... well, I'm not sure if it's ours anymore, but with my plans to infiltrate the Vilmo estate. Is this something that you're still prudent to help out in, or...
Yes, of course.
Well, I can't be sure. I mean, you're in a very different position than you were a few days back. The House of Liege is, I dare say, an ally of yours now. Something like this could potentially, well, break that relationship, frankly.
Well, we have the time, but for the sake of it, will you fill us in on the relationship between Vilmo, Elige, and Celie, just so we're a little bit more clear on it all?
I'm not sure exactly what you're implying, that we're noble houses.
Are there any special connections between specifically Elige and Vilmo that, if this all went, as soldiers
Tits up?
sometimes say, tits up, that it might be more compromising than just, what it already is?
Well, how to say, you're currently in bed with House Liege. You're allied with their second, at the very least. You've taken a name and become an adventuring group that has worked with House Liege. And so if you were caught breaking into a noble's house, well, I would dare say you would be fucked.
As in, is there anyone from Vilmo that's married to anyone from Elige that would make this beyond the normal amount of fuck that we might be? I just want to get that straight first. Because as I told Kriya earlier today, or yesterday, can't remember, I like to know whose toes I'm stepping on before it all happens.
Fair enough. Well, let me see. So there'd be Alanor de Grey Vilmo, that would be the master of the house. He's not, so to speak, in bed with anyone from Liege, but, House Vilmo and House Liege are maybe not at odds, but Vilmo's belongs to the other side of the coin, so to speak. They tend to operate a little bit more in the darker areas. This establishment is potentially linked to that, but I've never found proof. But it's a good place to meet up with individuals of questionable skills, let's say. I'm not aware of any relations between Vilmo and Elige, and as a matter of fact, that would be very interesting to see, seeing as they're more at odds than allies more often than not.
Oh, good. So, what exactly is this place?
Yes, Clover?
Well, before we do anything reckless, I was interested in returning to my clan and making a short report and telling them what's happening so I don't just add another to the list of those who have disappeared.
Well, if you need that, you'd definitely have to talk to Captain Alden about using the portal, but I have access to a set. Actually, here, and she rummages in her side bag for a second and produces. Roll a d20, actually, for that.
That is the number 10.
Total?
Well, you didn't tell me to add anything.
History, specifically.
That's the number 11.
Okay. It's a small, seemingly modified, glove. Just a relatively normal glove. And she hands it to you. I've had this modified. I figured it would be I can already do this, so it's not much use to me, but since you're likely wanting to get in contact with your clan, this might help a little.
What does it do?
Oh, right. Well, put it on first.
I'm gonna put on the glove.
Now, flip it over.
Okay.
As you flip it over, on the underside of the glove, there sits this small, pale contraption. You didn't really feel when you were putting on the glove itself, but now that you're looking at it, it appears mechanical in some nature. There's a small metal button, kind of just below where your palm would be. Nothing that really gives away anything until Tura points the button. Now just push the button. Point it in a point your hand in a safe direction and push the button.
I'm gonna follow directions.
Okay, what direction do you point it in?
Is there like a wall nearby?
There's a wall to your. If you're sitting in the booth, either directly to your left or right, depending on which side you got on.
With no people in the way.
Yeah, it's just a wall.
Okay, well, let's pick the left side for no reason.
Towards the wall. Okay.
Yep.
Pointing it towards the wall, you press the button, and the small, pale contraption springs open. A small bow-like device becoming unfurled.
Well, that is quite interesting.
If you... I don't really know what it's called myself, but it has the sending function. So what you could do is you can whisper a message, so to speak, and you can fire it from this glove, either to a person at 200 feet, or if you know the recipient, and you have to know them a little more intimately, shall we say, you can send it directly to them via there.
And do I just sort of aim it in the air and think? Or, like, how does it work?
For sending to other people, not directly, I haven't really tested it out. I assume you would, point it in the air or something like that, but you might have to play around with it a little. Just, it's of no real use to me right now.
And how do I know if the recipient gets the message?
Well, they'll be able to respond once.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's very useful.
Is this what you were using? When was she trying to talk to me earlier? Was that yesterday on our way
I
back?
believe it was right before you murdered a bunch of peasants.
No. I don't think it was. I think it
Sorry,
might have
he
been after
murdered a
that.
bunch of peasants.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm just gonna snack on my bread and look at them.
We would Dryad's thing, angry lumberjacks, saltication, Erland bell head exploding, handled.
Technically, his head didn't explode. He just died.
Cause that's so much better.
Less mess.
I'm gonna just look over at Tura,
Does anyone else
give
know
her a
about
very
this?
knowing look.
Not that we know of.
Other than the extremely well-paid survivors of it all, no. Not even Lady Kriya.
Okay. Well, knowing this, at least you don't have to worry about you being in any more trouble if you get caught breaking into a noble's estate.
Yes, thanks, Clover.
To be fair, I did nothing.
To be fair, you should keep your mouth shut.
To be fair, so should you.
Think better.
You heads would remain.
Well, this is
I take a large swig of that.
I'm gonna angrily eat cheese in his direction.
this is
Just for the sake of reference, just like the whole Dryad negotiation situation, was not my fault.
I'm not even gonna get into this. This is, as long as no one else knows, that is a secret that we will take to our grave.
Anyways, I hope we're not
Erland,
planning
what-
on doing this.
Erland,
little
no,
adventure
wait, I need to
tonight,
know
are we?
this. I need to know this. Erland, pray tell why?
Well, simple. He called me a coward after saving him.
I'm
That's
just
it.
gonna-
Yes, that's it.
It really was that simple.
Not my fault he was weak.
They're lumberjacks. They're common folk.
They get exercise. They should have some more endurance than that. Like
I'm
you
sorry,
said,
but
they're
on some table,
lumberjacks.
your excuses they get exercise.
Well, I don't. Thank you.
I think that's enough.
Oh boy.
We have other matters.
I'll look over at Tura and say, when things started going in the undignified direction, I took our partially hitched cart and left, with, for a while, one of the lumberjacks coming along with me. I had no part in their actions.
Look, let's put it this way. I angrily tried to violently teach them some manners, and they turned out to be weaker than I thought. It's been solved.
Let's.
Forget about it?
I'm gonna pretend that I didn't hear this and
Good.
instead move forward thinking that everyone here is a sane and competent and well adjusted individual who will not go and murder the entirety of a noble house or the servants for no apparent reason.
I mean, 2/3 of us are.
mm,
I feel
Anyways,
called
anyways.
out.
By the way, Hannah, check Facebook. If you want details.
You know I love me some details. Ooh. Thank you, good details.
Well, I almost wish I didn't know this. Moving forward, first off, try not to kill anyone else. House Vilmo has a tendency to find things out, and when they do, they are very liberal in their application of using said information against you. So unless you wish to become, House Vilmo's adventuring party / bitch, maybe keep things a little closer to the chest, to say.
For all they know, it was just a small skirmish in the forest that got out of hand. No, that.
And you
that's how
paid
I see it.
everyone and made sure that they, like, you talked to all of them and made sure that they were all good, yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get down to the other business then. Breaking
Yes,
into the
please.
Vilmo estate. As you know, I want to investigate them because I think that they're connected to that wizard folk that killed Aura, and, well, I wish to find that bastard and see his... Wow, I am so sorry, Erland. Apparently I'm also very bad at... Wow. That's a lot of anger. Okay, I would like to find the wizard, and things will happen.
Oh, don't be catty about it. We know you want to murder.
Not murder. Murder is such an unrefined word. I simply would-
Vengeance, murder, revenge. mercy, whatever you call it, it's still killing.
Well, he killed Aura, so let's say that it's deserved in this case.
I believe the term you're both looking for is retribution.
That is the right term. Perfect. Where was I? Right, okay. The Vilmo Estate, as I'm sure you've been keeping track of, the Vilmo Estate will likely be easiest to break into in roughly 3 days' time. Actually,
At the Harvest Festival party, correct?
Grand Harvest Fest, yeah. Technically, you have a free day tomorrow and then maybe 1 day to plan before the festival begins, so there is that. But all things aside, I think that I'm going to attempt to break into their estate on the Grand Harvest Festival.
And you mentioned an associate that's going to help with this. Is this someone we can trust?
Well, I trusted him to, or her, I trusted them enough to at least put forward my plan, and they seemed willing to help. So, take that as you may.
So they
So entirely not trustworthy, got it.
involved in a
Let me put it this way: they're a thief.
Ah,
So are they privy to all the information involved
Oh
in a
God, no! What do you think?
collateral fashion, or
No, as a matter of fact, they don't even know that I'm Turris Lee.
oh, good.
So, are we meeting up with this person, or?
Not tonight, but
Are they-
we'll be meeting up with
Well,
them here.
Okay, so if you are not Tura Sali to them, then what should we call you when they are around?
Lilia Lunar Dream.
Lilia, got it.
Lilia Lunar Dream. Interesting.
I assume I would recommend if you have disguises or some other alias, I would recommend you use that. Simply so that, well, if they get caught, we don't get buggered.
Unfortunately,
Got that.
subterfuge is not really my forte.
You may want to, well, maybe you should stick away from the meeting then. I don't want you to get any trouble for this, so
I do have to consider the entirety of the investigation. Maybe this is something that at least Erland can possibly handle with you, at least for the meeting, as he seems more adept in disguising himself.
that is what I was thinking as well. He has that half-elf disguise that he's not
That
really
one's
doing.
quite simple, but
Well, he doesn't seem to be doing it right now, which is something you should probably start doing.
Do you have any other ones?
well, mostly just costumes, but not many.
Well, anything that
I can improvise.
like
some.
the guards of the city have seen you coming and going as your half-elf version of yourself. So is there anything that you could do that would be separate from that, where the people that we've seen at like the Aslanti Keep and such wouldn't recognize it as a separate person?
Well, I do have one that I'm curious to try.
Because if things go south, and it's the disguise you've been using to meet with Captain Alden and such, well, that's pretty recognizable, regardless of it being a disguise. It's your persona within the city.
Let us see.
Odwin, are you good with disguises at all, or anything like that?
I can always just dress down peasant clothes hide most of my gear. Sure, maybe steal a disguise hat from your troop of entertainers. I'm sure they'll have one to spare. Roland,
Oh, I can whip something up at the very least.
If
Good.
the group has any makeup, we could paint you a different color.
would that be convincing?
Well, I
wouldn't worry
highly.
about it.
I don't know
Vidalkin-
if there are many Vidalkin here.
There aren't, but frankly speaking,
Oh,
trying to
if
hide it, I
anything, it
feel
wouldn't-
would be more obvious than not.
I understand.
Say all I'd need is we used to use it for reconnaissance patrols. Just a bit of charcoal from a campfire, just small parts of your face, just before we go in, and just keep a little damp rag on me. Wipe it off as soon as we get out. Done.
Well,
That
that
can
will
work,
work for
yes.
the job itself, but I would not do that for meeting the person. That would probably give the wrong message.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, you have a day, at the very least. I figured after the events that I've heard many things actually. Clover's confirmed that that House Elige is in fact pursuing a peace negotiation with the Dryads. I'm
Yes.
very, very interested to find out how on earth did you get involved in that?
Well,
Well, the
we kind
Dryads kidnapped me initially,
Uh-huh.
but like they meant well. They thought that I was being held captive, so they kidnapped me and then told me to run. And then I hid in the woods with the horses. And then they lit everything on fire. And then we fought them, and we almost killed one of them. And then eventually Erlen started talking to them, and we all started talking to each other. And that was kind of it.
You started talking to the things that were trying to kill you and also murdered
To be fair, they were blowing out the fire that they had started, so there was sort of a rest period in the middle of fighting them where everyone was at a standstill. And
I'm quite proud
There
of
was a
that
somewhat
bit of negotiation
involuntary respite to the
personally.
action, given that one of them charmed me, I think. Kriya called it into not attacking them. So I
Oh, yeah,
decided
that
to
is
make up
true.
the use of my time.
interesting. Very interesting.
And Erlen did do very well with talking them down.
I'm quite
Well.
proud of that performance.
They were not so pleased that I had friends who were not animalistic, to be frank.
Well, Beestum and the civilized folk, they have their... Well, I'm not one to speak.
Speaking of beastum and dryads,
Hmm?
what do you know about the death of Ingor, Elige?
It was... There was a lot of things related to that. If my memory serves me correct, it was related to the Dryads. He took out a group of guardsmen to deal with a small incursion that had been happening, and, well, he was killed.
Right.
Lady Liege Hollyshop, Lady Hollyshop Elige became the master of the house after that, being that they had bared no sons, and Kriya will take on after that. That's the gist of that. Did the Dryad say something about it, or...?
No, wait. No sons.
Interesting.
Olden's a brother. See not.
Interesting.
Captain Alden,
Yes.
Captain of the Guard.
Yes.
Oh, did you not know?
Their
Evidently, I'm
butler
missing
even
something,
told
yeah.
us. It didn't really seem that secretive.
I mean, if they told.
Oh, off table. Wait,
like,
what am I
rough
missing?
Like us.
What am I missing? Above table.
Nothing.
It's possible that Alden may be illegitimate.
Ah. Ah.
Because if No.
Mm.
Papa dies while there's no sons, and all of a sudden, oh look, a little
Well, I
brother.
wasn't sure. It could just be absolute primogeniture. Absolute is irregardless of gender, and this is highly. I wouldn't put it past them for that to be a thing.
For them to not give
Yeah,
Master of the House
aka
over
not
to
male
Alden.
primogeniture, instead just absolute primogeniture, oldest first regardless. It was more common, like outside of like the actual royalty and in the nobility in many societies.
And to be
actually.
fair, we don't know the rules of nobility here, whether it's firstborn or firstborn male always, or
Yeah, but I mean,
any of
just
that,
given circumstances, I just
Of
kind
course, that
assumed
can always
that
change
was
per
entirely a
house.
possibility.
and like if
Yeah,
Alden's
not
fucked
necessarily
with,
by
then
house,
they're
but
What I
like,
used to
will
be a
say
legal
is,
thing by kingdom or
is
whatever.
Arduin, given your nobility background and the way the Vidal can do, it would be very strange for Kriya to take to be the next in line when Alden's available. Or at least for the Vidalcan society, it would be very strange.
But I've seen weird things, and even just houses and societies where just whoever is just the straight up choice of the current head of a house or
I stand by what I
kingdom or
said.
whatever.
For you specifically, given your experience, it would seem a little strange for Kriya to be the next in line, even if she is older.
Maybe Alden did a fuck up. As
Oh,
it's
actually,
known in
I've-
the business.
There are always rumors. I will give you one rumor that might interest you. Since you are becoming acquitted with Captain Alden, you've met his secretary, yes?
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice girl.
Lovely, but quite forgettable.
Yes, well, Alden certainly doesn't seem to think so, or at least that's what the rumors say.
Good rumor.
Not entirely surprising.
Doesn't think she's forgetful or that she's nice.
Oh, Clover.
What?
He likes her.
Oh, like her, like.
I kind of like Clover.
Is that anything truly out of the ordinary, though?
No, except for the fact that, well... Wait, you don't know. It's quite a
We
it's
don't
quite
know a whole lot.
interesting thing right now. Well, her name is Elizabeth de Grey Vilmo.
Oh,
Ooh.
no.
Ah,
Yes.
well. That was just the sort of information I was.
Don't worry, there's no... If anything, I'm sure it's just the rumor mill spinning things up as usual, but nonetheless...
It does mean we need to be extra cautious, though, because Elizabeth has seen us all repeatedly
Well, I
as a
mean,
group.
Elizabeth
At least tell
and
me she's the
Alden-
youngest daughter or a cousin of the current head of the house or something.
Daughter, I believe.
Youngest brothers.
One brother, but, No, she would be. She's the oldest.
Is she next in line then? How does that work?
Technically, yes.
And that begs the question, what's she doing as his secretary? Vilmo owe Elijah a favor or something.
There's always rumors around that. In reality, she was the secretary before he was captain, so
Interesting.
Wait, above table, how old did Elizabeth look? I thought she was
seems
young.
definitely younger than that.
well, to find young.
Like
like
what
30?
20s?
decade does she belong to? Is she 20s to 30s?
20s
Is she
to
30
30s,
to
yeah.
40?
That's
Oh,
what
okay.
she appears to be. Yeah.
That's young enough then.
But that's all rumors. For now, my plan is this. I will meet up with my contact in a day's time. Obviously not today. Today we are going to, I would prefer if you took it to rest, get anything that you need done out of the way. The next day we will meet, plan, and then on the Grand Harvest we will execute.
And will you find us?
Will I find you?
Yeah, how do we meet on the day?
Well, you've got your methods now.
Oh, that's true, I do, don't I?
Sorry, what?
You got
And
the
a
fun
special
glove.
communication glove.
Oh, yes, the glove.
That being said, as for your other, just more regular business, Clover, would it not be easier to just send a parcel via just airship courier?
Oh, I would not trust this to anyone.
Fair enough.
Well,
It is safer with me until it gets to the archives.
one thing I would like to explain. When we're in House Vilmo, what I am looking for is I would like to find connection between them and whatever it is that we found in the forest. That is what I am looking for.
Well, and supposedly the papers in the box.
I seek this magic
I still don't
user
get
as
it.
well.
What's the connection?
I sincerely hope we do find some clue.
I need proof, is what I need. There was connections aplenty, sure, but there was connections to House Behir, there was connections to House Manny, there was connections galore.
You want proof. You want to secure.
I
And
want.
what would you do then with that proof?
There's several things we can do. We can either use it to force Vilmo to provide us with the information that they need. We can go to House Liege with it and potentially have the noble house investigated. It might even end up with them being disgraced. It would be quite a show. The question
So there will clearly be a lot of resistance to any information being let out.
likely, yes.
Hmm. Hopefully this thief of yours is good at picking locks.
Well, that's entirely why I brought them on board. They said that they have help, that they can help out with getting into the estate. I haven't personally, I personally don't see how, but we shall see, won't we?
We shall.
So,
Yes?
what's your stake in all this?
What do you mean?
What's in it for you?
You mean other than revenge against a evil entity who killed my fucking companion? You mean other than
You
that?
were
Specifically
already
against
in this
Vilmo.
before then.
In this...
You came along on a mission with us at the behest of Captain Alden. He said it was a favor. So clearly, either he had something on you or you needed something at the beginning of this. You weren't just in this for nothing.
Oh, no, Yes, well, as I'm sure you've heard, House Lee is... Well, we like to know things, frankly. This was originally just another example of that. And it worked out. I now know something about Captain Alden that, quite interesting. That can be used, of course, to pressure House Liege if needs be. There's power in information, and I love to know.
Yes, of course.
What I meant
You
was,
were
is there
talking
anything
to someone who
personally
also
against-
prizes knowledge.
Sorry, what, Arduin?
What I meant was, is there something personal against Vilmo and all of this? I want to make sure that we're not... How do we put it? There
Walking
isn't
into a
some
personal
ulterior motive
vendetta?
regarding noble houses here that I know about.
If you're worried
Like
about
I
a...
said, toes, stepping on, etc.
If you're worried about... Well, let me be frank. House Vilmo would be the worst house to possibly get into power, and anything I can do to prevent them from getting into power is a good thing.
Alright.
It's not a
Seems fair.
vendetta against, for me personally, but they are quite... A liege is pro-human. That's how they got into power. That is... should be very aware. However, they're not bad people. Kree is an excellent example of that, and I believe this peace treaty to be genuine. Just because they rose into power using detestable methods doesn't necessarily make them terrible people. It's just sometimes you need to, well, do questionable things to enact the change that you wish. House Liege is, I believe, a good example of that.
You mentioned they did detestable things to get into power. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, look at me. To say that I was a... how to say... outcast at the noble parties would be a vicious understatement. They've been very pro-human for quite some time. Not to the same extent that House Vilmo is, but they rose to prominence due to Ingor's, well, stance, frankly speaking. It seems that they're turning a bit of a new leaf, so to speak, but that weakens their position. And House Vilmo, knowing this, may well be taking advantage. There's a plethora of different plays that could be happening right now. I simply wish to ensure that the house that benefits not just me, but the majority of people going forward is the one that stays in power.
Alright.
I
That's
mean,
a fair answer.
Arduin, you must... Clover, you must both grow somewhat tired of the stares and the questions.
Hmm. They're kind of expected, to be honest.
Yes, but would you not
Something like home.
would you not try to keep the people who can make changes to that in power?
This is true. It would be nice not to have to worry about being run over by a cart.
Well, I'm not sure if it'll fix that quite so quickly, but nonetheless, Vilmo, I don't have a personal vendetta, but I don't wish to see them in power either.
Well, I always tried to stay away from politics so far as...
You have a funny way of doing it.
So far as the men in charge don't screw over the men who put them where they are, the common soldier, that's well, you could say I have a soft spot in my heart for.
Well,
Is
hold
House
in.
Filmo as pro-human, shall we say, as House Elysian?
More so.
Oh, how disappointing.
Well, there's a reason that as soon as I saw that they might be allying themselves with some questionable folks, that my concern rises. But again, this is all speculation. If I can find proof, I can do something more about it. And from there, well, hopefully I can find and put an end to whoever this ally of potentially. Anyways.
Alright. One thing we might need that might be useful. Drawing of the house, a house plan. There has to be some sort of archive in the city. Well, architects, something like that.
I think
We'll
the
need
least
that before.
suspicious behavior is not to go look at the plans of the house we're about to break into.
I would agree. That being said, I'll see about my contact. See if they have anything like that. See if they can figure anything out. I'd much prefer they stick their neck out, so to speak, than any of us.
I agree.
I don't have a whole lot of neck to stick out.
Very well.
Cute.
Well, I
Alright.
am thoroughly exhausted, and frankly, I don't have anyone to warm my bed tonight, so I'm going to go to sleep.
Ah,
Erland, Clover, what's the game plan for tomorrow? We need to go talk to Lady Holly's shop at the
We do.
Ascendant Court. Need to get that done. I need to make a little trip to a blacksmith or some sort of purveyor. The additional equipment as well. I assume you two will probably have just the regulars to stock up on.
well, some equipment, yes. Some papers would be nice.
Do you want to do that first or Ascendant Court?
I think our focus tomorrow should be starting off at the Ascendant Court, and then that will set the tone for the day as to how bad things get.
Roger that.
Okay. Plan in mind, you confidently break. Tura leading you back to the familiar, shall we call them tavern keep, who served you your drinks and food earlier. Quickly ordering a few rooms, paid with normal gold this time, as opposed to the special, as they lead you out into the main area and up to your rooms. Erland and Ardwin.
Mm-hmm.
You both get excellent sleeps that night.
Uh-oh. Why am I not included?
Because Clover,
You do not get
from
excellent
the
sleep that
asshole wizard.
you get an absolutely phenomenal sleep. Best you've ever
Ah,
had.
fuck you.
Yay!
The beds, while not quite as plush or
Obviously.
fancy as the Elige household, nonetheless, they are substantially nicer than the entertainment troupe encampments and any of the hotels that you've been staying at, Ardwin.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Secret B&B.
Secret Airbnb. Okay, that's clever. I like that.
I've already had a secret tunnel joke drawn in my book, so we're
Secret tunnel.
you get it.
Tunnel. Secret, 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 secret tunnel.
Awakening
You
in the
forgot
morning.
one line.
Sorry.
Awakening in the
In
morning.
the mountain.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
Sacred
Morning
tunnel.
comes.
anyways,
Morning comes.
So, don't sue me. Come on.
Morning
Han-
comes.
Thank you, Hannah.
Going to each of the rooms, you do find that Tura has already set out for the day. No note or anything, just an empty room. Breakfast is provided, as per the arrangement that Tura seems to have made. So you all set out for the day with a belly full of very good. What would they
Jolly
be?
good.
So, off to the Aslanti Keep, I assume?
I thought we were going to the Ascendant
Or
Court.
sorry, the Ascended Court?
yeah,
Hmm.
All right.
yes, indeed.
Same path. It's still relatively early, so for the sake of simplicity, Clover, are you doing anything to not get trampled?
Yeah.
And whose shoulder are you currently?
Who feels like holding a mouse?
Sure.
Okay. No
What
rolls
do we
needed
need
for
to
this.
roll?
No rules for this.
Okay.
You've done this enough times that it's more habit, or growing into more of a habit than a something that you're trying out.
I feel like it's a begrudging habit on both parts.
A little bit. You make your way through the Ascended Court. Familiar sight of towering marble spire. You're almost used to it at this point. After seeing the Gunnergath spires and everything, the towering marble obelisk, well, it is impressive. You're almost used to it at this point. Approaching the guards, they seem to recognize you as well. They quickly halt you, and one kind of curiously, Gilded Chimera.
Yes, that's us.
Indeed.
Should have said as much the first time.
We didn't have that to say the first time.
Fair enough. Waves you in.
I'm thumbing the coin in my pocket.
Make your way across the bridge. And after a little bit of checking, you do find your way into the Ascendant Court and into the rather spacious, almost Colosseum-esque sort of area. The Ascendant Court is, for all intents and purposes, just a massive courtroom that allows for a plethora of both common folk, if needed, as well as the different noble families to congregate in a single area. There is a center area where scribes and other mediaries would be so that the conversations can keep flowing. Today, it is, for the most part, empty. There are a few scribes and scholars hard at work, documenting and keeping track of everything. And as you go further into the court, past the initial room area, there is a secondary room. This one guarded as well, although they do let you by as soon as they kind of make eye contact with at least Ardwin, possibly Erland. Clover, you're the dead giveaway once they get down to you.
I assume it's kind of like an open space with all these like kind of porticos off to the side, like say Roman basilicas sort of deal.
More or less, actually, that's a really good reference. Yeah.
For reference, I'll throw a photo up for someone in here.
Yes, please.
Seated at a relatively open-spaced desk is, of course, Lady Holly Sharp-Elige. Hard at work, her
In
staff
Discord.
planted into the side into the space beside
Turn
her.
off the lighting.
Natural light flitting in and more or less making up the majority of the light that she's currently working. It's only your soft footfalls that warn her of your advance. She finally looks up from whatever it is that she's working on.
We'll kind of get into line, and I'll kind of lead out, but hopefully everyone kind of along with me simultaneously bows.
I do a theatrical bow. As
Kriya,
I seems. Yeah.
Kriya informed me of your success. I was expecting you yesterday, but
We were told to meet you this morning, my lady.
my daughter also mentioned that. Very well. Your report. What did the Dryads... How did they react to this?
Well, over what I gather was about 2 hours of conversation. The negotiations led to a few salient points of interest. One, they wanted all activity such as logging to be abandoned in the forest where the negotiations took place and the confrontation took place.
Of course.
They offered that if these activities were to be taken to the to the Vale, that any lands and forests over there would not be contested by them, for it is not land which they have any connection to. They also stated that Dryads, seemingly that they were speaking for Dryads on a whole, have no stake in any other conflicts pertaining to the beastdom or humans or other in such nature. Negotiations seem to be quite amicable and reasonable from everything I could gather. They otherwise demanded ceasefire and cessation of all hostilities, regardless of the outcome of negotiations, until the more formal negotiation can take place, which has been arranged for a few miles outside the city after the Harvest Festival.
Intriguing. I confess, I was not expecting that. Perhaps I underestimated them. Thought for sure Kriya would have to use that scroll of hers to get back here, but no. Interesting. Well, it seems you might have done us a service. Kriya mentioned she managed to ascertain some payment as extra for this. I might have to think of something a little extra should the negotiations go forward. I dare say, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that said, the Gilded Chimera,
Yes, ma'am.
slightly gaudy, but I think it'll work. Consider yourselves, how to say, maybe not employed, but House Elige will call on you. Especially you, Erlid. Kriya reports that one of the Dryads seems to have taken a fancy to you. That can be useful. Negotiations always become more favorable when, how to say, life is there.
Hmm.
I understand.
Very well. Well, I have no work for you right now. That being said, note, I would like you to make an appearance at the Grand Harvest Festival. There is a party. It's being hosted at House Salih. I would like you all to make an appearance at the very least. the rest of the nobles had best get used to seeing you.
Any specific details you want of us for our appearance?
What you were wearing with Priya would do favorably, and I dare say if you continue to wear that, it would be favorable as well. It might also help a little bit in, shall we say, navigating the city?
I see. Quite a badge, I guess it's a word.
Well, House Elige is the current, shall we say, ruling house. I'm sure you've seen the privileges ascertained by nobles. While they might not be quite as abundant for, shall we say, hired members, those that bear our distinction and our crest, well, I'm sure you can use your imagination.
We understand.
Good.
Thank you for your time, my lady. If there is nothing else, we shall be on our way.
You are dismissed.
Bow,
Yes.
and turn, and walk away.
Okay.
I, of course, bow before leaving.
Fanciness. I leave.
Do you actually say that?
Say
No.
I imagine he'd probably say that, like, very, very, like, almost invisibly under,
under
his
his breath, while like flourishing all of his
Nah, this
fabric.
bitch got high perception. I ain't saying shit.
breath. Hell, if you fucking think it, she'll probably know.
She'd be like, "Excuse me, player." I'd be like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
I think
Oh,
she'd
all of you
probably just
roll,
roll her eyes at you.
Joe.
All of you do me a favor. Roll a perception check.
Oh, cool,
You-
cool,
why
cool,
have you
cool,
done
cool,
this?
cool. Fuck you.
I almost forgot to do this. I should have probably done it at the start.
Dicks. All right, 9
17.
plus
Oh, 4.
9 plus 3. Okay.
So
Adam,
12,
you're me.
15, and what?
I got
4.
a 17. I got
Okay.
17, Drew.
Clover,
Mm-hmm.
it's less of a notice and more of just a feeling. The
Uh-oh.
way Arduin was talking, while it did seem like Arduin, there was very much a flow to it that you don't normally hear.
Define flow.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be a little more specific than that.
Everything that he said was without hesitation, and everything was 100% truthful.
Ooh.
I don't like that shit,
Is
but I don't know that shit.
just that you're watching us. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
That's about
Creepy
all you. That's about all your
motherfucking
perception check would get you.
You
Okay.
don't need a spell to make me truthful. You just need to give me one thing of rum.
Good to know.
One very large thing of rum.
All right.
I'm now just picturing Clover just manhandling a bottle of Sailor Jerry's.
Oh, come on. Clover has way more class than Sailor Jerry's.
So,
Drew Crawford will remember this.
I'm pretty sure Drew would buy fancier rum if he could.
I always buy fancier rum if I can.
Mhm,
Which is
exactly.
very rarely.
So you won't hold it against me for saying she would buy the fancy rum.
Correct. Just gonna disconnect that. See if I can get the.
Because my
the play.
rum
Perfect.
at home is $56 before tax, and I have
Ooh,
very
I like
small
that.
amounts of it once a week at D&D. Except now I'm at Justin's. Justin is feeding me rum.
Right. So, for the sake of brevity, what do you all need to get done today?
I'm gonna go buy a fucking dagger because I need something small that isn't a sword.
Okay.
I need shit for magical equipment.
Okay. Right.
I need to send messages.
We'll roleplay your messages for sure. As for your shopping expenditures, Octavius's Oddities is available. There are a couple of other magic shops available in there. Arduin, are you looking for just a normal fucking dagger or something a little nicer?
A little nicer.
Okay.
Hey Drew, how much is it per spell slot? Oh, per spell level rather?
50 gold. To copy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 50
For
gold.
once, we have it.
All right, let's see. Where's mine? There's spells. Found.
I'll trust you to mark down to take care of the
Give me 1 second.
gold and stuff. Okay, so Arduin.
Excuse me.
While you're doing that stuff, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real briefly.
Okay, easy enough.
Had to sneeze.
Arduin.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the blacksmith, the young kid does recognize you. More, it recognizes the shield. Ah,
I'm not even wearing the shield.
I assume you would be.
I don't know. At the fucking performance, I probably would have just kind of not had that on me because that's kind of a cumbersome thing to have.
Okay. In that case, he doesn't recognize the shield and has a vague recollection. You are Arston.
Arduin, I
Arduin, yes,
purchased-
that was my second
purchased
guess.
the
I swear.
shield from your master last week.
Yes, yeah. I assume it was to your standard.
Indeed.
Excellent, excellent. Right, what brings you in today?
Tell me truthfully, does your shop make good quality steel for blades?
You're asking if the best blacksmiths in this city.
I did not go to the best blacksmith last time around, and a good blacksmith will admit their areas of expertise and their weaknesses, and you usually get a kickback from whoever they send someone to.
As I was saying, you're gonna. Of course, we have great steel. We repair weapons for the guards in the city. Of course, we have good shit.
Well, I need a new commission of a weapon.
All right. What are you looking for?
Dagger, approximately, let's say 6 to 7 inch blade, 10,
Wait. Hey
12
guys,
inches all length. Yep.
quick question. Is
Mm-hmm.
this an error? I have 40 platinum written in my sheet.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Because remember, we got like wait, 40?
Yeah.
40, that would be
That might
400
be a
gold.
little high. Give me
No.
a second. Nope. I have 43.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
you're
Just
good.
wanted to make sure I didn't like accidentally bash a fucking 0 on the top of that shit. I'm like,
No,
hey,
no.
wait a second. I don't remember how much fucking gold I had. What?
1,400 gold out of this mission.
Mhm.
All right.
For the whole group, not for you individually.
Yeah. That's why it's
Yeah.
40 and not 140.
Mhm.
So,
So some of it went into
um,
party funds.
as you're describing, he
20
just kind of like
specifically.
points. You mean like those? Points to one of the tables. There is a table with literally dozens of different daggers. There's ones with protrusions on the back for what look to be catching or hooking blades. There's small little elegant ones that are engraved. Some with different materials of handles, different lengths.
Are there any bollock daggers? Because I might just want to flex on some motherfuckers.
What's a bullock dagger?
If you look at Discord, I posted a few images. Second one, Wow, why is your Discord
Gosh.
being weird?
They really do have balls on them.
Yeah, that's actually a real medieval thing. It was quite popular in Scotland.
Why? Was it like the truck
Because
nuts?
even medieval people had a sense of humor.
So 10 plat is equal to 100 gold.
Correct.
Okay.
So what exactly? Yeah, there would be at least like that's a fairly simple design, dude.
Yeah, but also I posted up somewhat more modern, but I still one of my favorite daggers of all time, Sykes Fairburn, down below. That's more the blade style I'm going for.
So
So
basically,
can I almost
a
like say
stiletto
kind of
style.
mix and match since I'm commissioning it new?
So basically, a stiletto style.
Yeah,
Dagger.
not that quad pyramidal blade like on the Bollock dagger in the image, but like the double-sided clip point or spear point on the Sykes, but with the Bollock handle, just because sense of humor.
Sure, you can commission to have something exactly like that made. There would be, especially like that second image, there's definitely a couple daggers that fit that description, though.
Mhm.
Maybe not exactly to your specifications, but they would be there.
Yep.
Okay, so you none of those suit your bill.
Well, I'll basically point to one that has the most similar point to the Fairburn Sykes
Okay.
as a blade, and then point to one that has that handle, and say, "Could I get that? See this blade configuration with this handle?"
Sure. I mean, take us a couple of days, but yeah, easy done.
All right.
That'll run you. Let's see.
Question:
Yeah.
are your weapons handles peened or threaded?
Do you just revel in like fucking me over?
It would
with
be a legitimate
obscure-
question
with
for a
obs-
medieval blacksmith.
Okay,
Come on, Drew. You gotta have that
Also,
now.
there's a meme. There's a meme in here in case you don't recognize it.
No, I don't.
Adam knows what I'm talking about.
Are you gonna try and end him rightly?
Oh my god.
It's an entirely a possibility.
Oh my god.
How did I fucking know?
Stop
Now,
it.
Drew,
If I
this
roll a
was, like,
20, I
modern
want to be able to end the
science
motherfucker
shit, You know,
rightly.
I'd be very annoying.
Oh my god.
You picked your friends. You're welcome. Now you're
Yes.
stuck with us.
This meme
Yeah,
is like
this was
6 years old.
Ta-da!
Yes, Max, you can commission a dagger that would allow you to end them rightly.
So threaded.
Yes.
Good.
All right.
So- I don't know if I'm in the right shop for this because
wait, I
was
just have to
in
give
the
him one
bathroom.
price.
Okay.
So that'll cost you 4 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
2 up front, 2 upon completion.
Done.
Wait, how much?
4 gold pieces.
Oh, fuck you.
He's
hey, honestly, you
commissioning
could get a
a
dagger.
specific dagger.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm about to drop fucking
Oh, yeah.
50 gold on a level 1 spell.
All right, Clover.
Go fuck yourself, you lazy.
Hey, it's a simple dagger. It's not like it's fucking enchanted or anything.
To be fair, by the time we get to like higher levels, you will have like a damage output that is orders of magnitude above mine. So
And spending, for example, a 9th level spell, 50 gold. So let's see, 5 times. Whatever 5
be
times.
rolling in
Anyways,
by then.
Clover,
Mm-hmm.
you were asking about a shop?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in the right place for it, but I wanted to buy health potions.
You could buy them from either. You remember Octavius's oddities does have health potions. There's also a herbalist or 2 that you could find in the Coins District.
I'm going to also, when you get back around to me, drop by one of those places for
Okay.
a similar thing.
I mean,
Well, why don't you come with me?
Okay.
okay.
I could ride on your shoulders. We could go
Yeah,
together.
that works.
Which place are you going
It's
to?
that or a hamster ball.
I like whatever the one is oddities because I like the name.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
that. He was cool.
You make your way back to the Ivy District, finding the familiar cluttered storefront. Entering similar Furbolg. Quite familiar. Hey
Can you
there.
pause? Can you pause so I can tell you something cool that Justin
Sure.
told me? There's a movie being filmed in the field beside his house,
Oh, nice.
like right now,
Fuck yeah.
because he took out their
cool.
recycling.
Probably
What kind of
nothing
movie?
good because I'm not producing it. But anyways.
He says there's like a dozen trailers and lights and shit.
Oh
fantastic.
fuck. Yeah, that's a good production. Well, hey there. I haven't seen you guys since the wizard came by again. Wanted to pick up more paper and stuff. What
Meanwhile,
what
I'm
can I do
meanwhile
for
I'm
ya?
already in the store, and fucking Clover shows up. Like I said, I was fine.
Erland need to go back to this guy.
Yes.
He already
Um,
did in his solo session.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I was already. I'm like, oh, hi, Clover.
So, he's getting the paper. What can I get for the two of you there?
Well, I'm looking for health potions.
Oh, well, we got tons of those right here. Are you looking for simple? Are you looking for something more potent? Do you want something that'll knock your fucking socks off? What strength are you looking for?
Well, that would
not-
entirely depend on cost.
Well, a basic health potion will, of course, rock you about 50 gold. Anything higher than that is gonna start to get higher and higher, of course.
What do you got that's quick acting?
Well,
Well, they all are.
they're all quick acting. I mean, it takes the amount of time that it takes you to actually finish drinking the thing.
Let's see. Additional invigorating effects.
Well, I mean, are you talking in the bedroom or are you talking in the battlefield? I suppose they're one and the same when you really get down to it, but
The
I'm gonna
battlefield.
look at Arduin and be like, I do not want to know.
well, okay, there's. Of course, we got your standard stamina potion. Is more or less what you're looking for, or something a little more, shall we say, invigorating, or
Something that'll give you once you take it, a surge of energy and ability for at least a temporary short amount of time.
agility? That's whew. That's a bit of an interesting one. Let me take the Clover's order, and I'll look in the back for you. I think I might have something.
I would like 3 of your standard health potions, please.
All right. And because you're a returning customer, I'll tell you what. I'll do it for 140 gold. How's that sound for you?
That's very kind of you, sir. Thank you.
Excellent. Here you go. Takes the gold, gives you 3 standard health potions. Did I give you the...
So what?
I'll just re-grab the potion of healing. Common is this. It's in D&D chat. 2d4 plus 2. You can use a bonus action to drink the contents of the liquid, or the contents of the potion.
We have no cleric. I need health potions.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything. So good on you for remembering. Yay.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
All right. 1 second, and he kind of goes into the back. you hear a bit of shuffling, and sounds like he might have hit his head on something. Eventually comes back with a small little potion bottle. This one is glowing bright orange. This here, it does give you a little bit of a boost, so to speak. It makes you a little bit more dexterous for a period of time. More what you were looking for?
Actually, yes, that's just about it.
All right. Well, this little thing right here is, I'll warn you, it's not gonna run you well, cheaply, unfortunately. This little guy right here, it has an effect, from what I've been told, of about 8 hours.
Oh,
Unfortunately, it'll run you about 450 gold, though.
oh,
Yeah. Now, that being said, the effects are quite potent. If I was to say, rate you on a scale of 1 to 20, this potion would make you about an 18 in dexterity.
well,
Smooth.
just 2 standard healing potions then.
Oh, man, that was gonna make my whole day, but no, that's
Oh,
all good.
sorry, man.
It's all good.
We
Tell you what,
got a
though,
decent
if
payday,
you
but not
if you're
quite that
picking up the
much.
two if you're picking up the two healing potions with it, let's see here. And your wizard friend here has eaten up quite a stock of paper, so I want to keep you guys coming back. What if I do 350 gold for the 2 standard healing potions and this nice here potion?
350 for everything.
For everything.
It's a good deal.
You got yourself a deal.
Excellent, excellent. See, I knew that we could come to something. Gives you the pulls out 2 extra healing potions. Oh, jeez, I'm gonna have to get some more in. All right, and did you, your wizard buddy, Erlen, did you figure out what you wanted? How much paper and ink you needed?
Well, what do you have for level 2 slots? Well, it's weird to say it like that.
Second level.
Level 2. I need
Level 2.
Yes, what's he got for level 2 spells?
Easier just to ask for a specific spell.
Oh, you know the fucking wizard spell list. Jesus Christ, what do you gotta do? Alright, hold on, give me a second. Fuck it.
Montage
Basic-
of him saying,
Basically,
"Can I have a
he,
fireball? No. Can I have this? No. Can I have this?"
Fireball's 5th level, Hannah.
I know, but you know, what, everybody.
basically he would have
Everybody
any
needs fireball.
non-major destructive spell up to you wouldn't know this, of course, but you can assume that he would probably have any non-destructive spell up to about 3rd level.
Well, I don't give a shit about 3rd level right now.
I don't think that's fifth
Which
level.
would be... Oh. There's one. That's a good one.
The 3rd level spell, Adam.
What? Shit, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck me.
I was like, because I was all excited for Sylphium to get fireball.
We'll get there eventually, Hannah. I'll start up the campaign again. But...
You know how great that's going to be. I already almost burned down one house and I didn't even have fireball.
You will burn down a barn.
Just
And a
don't burn down our
bar.
tavern.
Yeah, shit's gonna burn down, and it's
Mhm.
gonna be amazing. Jesus,
Sorry, I was just choking on water. It's fine.
are you bad at being human as well?
I did that twice at work on Friday.
Oh,
I'm not great at humaning. Go on.
Okay, so G,
Yes.
I'm okay. I'm just
I'm
looking
looking
at water.
for Alter Self and Blur.
You're looking for Alter Self and Blur.
Yeah.
So you're looking for, generally nobles seem to like this altered self stuff. Yeah, I tend to keep it, well stocked just in case the noble houses are, looking to make themselves a little, how to say stockier. Yeah, this guy right here kind of pulls out a, goes around the backside, pulls out a scroll. And Blur, you said. Blur's an interesting one. Recently just found out about it. It's quite handy for people who find themselves in scraps, which, judging upon your change in attire and everything, I assume that you guys have been in more than one scuffle. So, yeah, there you go.
What would that run me?
Oh well. Let's see here. You'd be
And
looking at.
also, Drew, do I have to buy the paper along with what he's giving me?
Ooh,
Yeah. Above table.
that's a good question. You're buying spells, so I'll calculate the cost. If you're buying a spell, I'll calculate the cost of the materials needed to inscribe it into the cost of the spell,
Okay, thank you.
just to keep things simple.
Yeah, however the math works out, I don't give a shit. But as long as I'm able to.
Blur's a pretty, well, frankly, not a lot of people have been buying it, so yeah, we'll be able to do that one for, let's say, 150 gold. As for Alter Self, well, that's a pretty high demand commodity you're looking at right there. I'd say that would run you about 200 gold.
Okay. So
That's
Well, we got
that's
400 from the last
350
mission.
total.
sorry, two people talking at the same time. What? What was that, Drew?
That's
GM first.
that's 350 gold total.
Okay, so that would put me at 5 plat left there, and then drop the another 5 plat on some paper,
Okay.
which would get me the last one there. Okay, cool.
Excellent.
All
All
5
right.
plat of paper and those 2 spells.
Oh, this has been great. I knew you guys were winners the moment that you walked in, and my thanks to this, I'm gonna be able to close early today. Not that I, of course, will, but I appreciate the business, and make sure to keep coming back. It's nice to actually get some money in my pocket for once.
Above table. What was this guy's name again?
Octavius.
Octavius.
Pleasure doing business.
You
Octavius.
don't
Maybe at
remember
some-
Octavius's outrageous oddities? How dare you?
Maybe at
Do
some
you
point.
know how much rum I've had to drink?
That's great.
All right, Drew, for throwing this in inventory, could you give me the proper names for everything?
It is literally standard healing potion and potion of agility. Oh, for your potion of agility, this is literally what it does, and this is the description. This potion will set the dexterity score of the drinker to 18 for a total amount of time of 8 hours, affecting armor class, missile attack adjustments for the duration of the effect.
Okay.
I should also note it is a one-time use.
Mm-hmm.
So, use it wisely. Okay. So, that would take you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours out of the day, which would leave you, 3 or 4 left to get anything else done. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
The whole group or just Adam?
Just anyone in general.
Well, I'm gonna go copy down these fucking spells now. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna send a note to Papiria through my fancy button glove.
Yes, in that case. Yes. So, where would you be doing that? Inside the city, outside the city, in your questionable abode?
By questionable abode, do you mean the fancy tavern with questionably soft beds?
I take questionable abode.
All right. Easy enough done.
I was actually gonna say pop by. Do I still have my library pass? Is that still valid from Captain Alden?
I doubt it, but you do have access to the Ascendant Court based on the fact that if you are wearing, are you still wearing the who's still wearing the uniforms that House Elige provided you?
Oh, I am.
Okay, so Clover is.
I
think
don't see why.
I was the only one who changed from it. I just kind of just.
Yeah,
I've
you
never
used your
stated that
fancy
I
clothing.
changed from it. So
Okay.
I guess I'm still
Well, I
wearing
mean,
it.
you would have. You were doing performing and shit last night.
True. Okay, so I have not changed since the performance.
Okay.
Because that makes the most sense, because I have not stated it. And I'm a believer of state when you change your fucking clothes, there you fucking players there.
All right, and as me and Clover are heading back to the library, then, because probably library would be a good place for Clover to do this. No,
Well, I would think somewhere more private
well, I'm sure they have private reading rooms or something.
to shoot an arrow.
Shoot a spell.
I think I'll probably go. Berlin's troop probably isn't outside the city. Let's go to Shady Tavern. That sounds good.
Isn't that kind of out of the way?
It's in the Merchants District, but it's not too far.
I thought that was in the
It's in the
foreign
foreign
quarter.
quarters, yeah. You guys are currently in the Ivy District, so it's actually just down from there.
Yeah, we're
That's fine.
backtracking.
I mean, going to the Ascendant Court or the foreign quarters, it's like a triangle. It's not really backtracking. It's like going in one direction or the other. Anyways, okay. So, one at a time. Clover.
Mm-hmm.
You arrive back at the tavern. They give you a look, but it seems Tura has at least spoken for you, as they merely come up and question if you're going to be staying the night and request payment, which is 2 gold pieces.
Expensive.
Mm.
All right, I'll pay for this one night, but I'll find somewhere else tomorrow.
Okay. They're very appreciative. Of course, dinner and breakfast will be included.
Thank you very much.
They bow back. So, how are you going to do this?
Well, I'm currently counting words in my note app.
Oh, how this is going to be fun. While you're doing that, once you have your message, just say so, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ardwin.
I've got 4 more words, so it should be long.
Basically me right now.
Ardwin.
Before I actually get there, I'm going to my coat into the Elige family thing that we were wearing previously.
Okay. Nobody notices you do this, and
Oh no! Before I get there, that's it.
nobody still
Oh, you mean
notices.
just on the street? Okay.
You could be walking down the street and completely change it, and no one would really notice.
Okay.
Quite fascinating. So, as you work your way there, as soon as you walk up to the front gate, the guards stiffen, and the one who talked to you earlier. Excellent here on official business? Yes?
Certainly.
Perfect. motions you in.
All right, and I'm going to immediately kind of start heading towards the library.
Okay. What are you looking for in the library specifically?
I'm going back to the census records. So I think I still have that piece of paper from Captain Alden, even if it's not probably valid anymore. I'm gonna hope to bullshit my way in with it, and also my new fancy coat.
Yeah, you don't really need it.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you step in, the woman who had helped you last time immediately perks up, takes note of your attire. Here for research.
Yes.
Official Liege
Census
business.
records again.
Perfect. Census records. Okay. Takes you right back. The same records that you looked at last time.
Yes. Specifically, if you could bring first noble and foreigners, please.
Right away. Okay, so instead of reading off everything, what are you specifically looking for?
First, in the foreigners, I'm going to look for the names of different Vidalcan who are registered in the city.
Okay. Any specific ones? You find about between 15 and 20.
All right, I'm checking to see if there's a Barditch amongst the names.
A Barditch?
Barditch.
That's the last name?
No, first name. Specifically, that's the name of my younger brother.
No. Barditch is not registered as a citizen or in the census records.
Oh, good. So I've decided on that's the name I'm going to go by during our little adventure. Basically, I don't want there to somehow accidentally be another of this name in the city and for me to actually screw them over if things go sideways and they're looking for someone of that name.
Okay.
So instead, you're gonna screw over your own brother.
No, isn't. No one would ever literally trace that name all the way back to my fucking homeland with no last name.
I mean, fair.
All right. What else are you looking for there?
I'm going to flip through noble records to House of Liege.
Okay. Easily done.
I want a date of death, or at least year of death for Ingor, basically however many years ago it was.
Wow, that got really intense very quickly. What the fuck?
What?
The music is
Music.
actually hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm doing some hardcore investigating, it seems.
Yeah, no, don't need that. Okay. It's just hilarious. I just picture you just like intensely reading, just like I'm uncovering
Ba, ba, ba.
okay.
Yeah, this is like the fucking scene from Clear Manuals.
More like the scene from like I don't even know.
Oh, come on, you've got to have something.
Death Note, probably.
I was going to say Hank on the
Oh,
toilet
true.
at season 5 Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that would also work.
To my other favorite WW. Dun 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 dun. Anyways,
All right.
how long has Ingor's dick been in the dirt?
You would have, so you know the exact date. You know that it's 0926. So that would put his death. Oh, I'm gonna have to do calculations.
Oh no.
Oh
math
no,
and
math
D&D?
and D&D. Whatever shall I do? Okay. Okay. If you do the calculations, you would have it pegged at 4 years, 3 months.
Okay, it's 4 years ago.
Yeah. Which checks out, because I do believe either Kriya or Tura mentioned that it was about 5 years ago or so that...
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it was closer to 10, but yeah. That might have been just me. Anyways. While I'm in there, children listed.
Okay, for House of Liege.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to write all this shit down in, like, noble house thing rather than in my journal. Okay. Here, Kenneth, Manny, Vilmo. Where's Elige? Where did I write down Elige?
This should not be difficult.
Do you see how many pages I have written on this stuff?
Well, I'd imagine they'd be first alphabetically.
You would think so.
So why isn't this
Here we
just
are.
in the fucking Word
Okay,
document?
alright. Elige House. Ingor Burlond Elige, listed as deceased. Currently alive. I'm assuming just immediate family, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There is Lady Holly Sharp Elige.
Mm-hmm.
Kriya Holly Sharp Elige.
Mm-hmm.
Alden Holly Sharp Elige.
All right, and could I get a age for each of them, please?
Circus. Afro circus. Afro.
You know, fuck it, age and marital status.
Age and marital status. Okay.
Because I'm here, I might as well.
So Kriya is listed as 32, or at least that's what you calculate it based on birth date. Alden
It's
is
32 then.
what?
It's 32 then.
Alden is listed as 30. Marital status for both of them unregistered.
As in unmarried? or
Unmarried.
No,
No,
currently valid
no marital record is currently registered under either of their name.
Okay.
Also, since you are doing this, roll an investigation check.
That would be a. Oh, this can't pause. Okay, that's actually not the worst. 11 total.
This isn't the complete record.
I'd probably have to dig into a specific marriage registrar, I'm guessing. Because I'd imagine that possibly might be a different registrar.
You didn't roll high enough investigation for me to explain, but you just get the feeling this is not a complete record.
Alright, how much time have I used up?
It's been about 2 hours, maybe a little less than that.
All right, well, that's enough for today. Then I'll
Okay.
leave this matter and come back to it another time.
All right. Clover,
Mm.
your first message. And by the way, two things happen. One, when you do point the glove, I assume towards the sky and fire,
Yes.
the arrow does sink very nicely into the ceiling.
I didn't say I loaded it
Okay, good.
because I wasn't planning on loading it.
Okay, good. So, you whisper the message, fire straight up. Takes a second. You kind of just sitting there, kicking your legs. Eventually, the voice of your sister does respond. Hi? Great to hear? Are you coming back anytime soon? Why are you investigating? I think... And that's the end of the message.
I'm just writing down.
I think that's 25 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to writing in my notes app as to what to respond.
Okay. Erland. Whereabouts are you going to be going to do the copying? Adam.
Sorry, yes?
Whereabouts are you going to be doing the copying?
Oh, I already mentioned that I was doing it in the,
Gideon!
Okay.
yeah, Shady Inn.
Easily done. Are you just grabbing a table and starting, or are you doing it in your room?
Room.
Okay. Just mark off
Like-
2 gold for payment, and easily done.
Like I mentioned, and sent the message, I'm literally doing,
Sorry, did I not get that message on Facebook?
no, it's right below the knife on Discord. Except I don't know Dancing Lights. Not yet.
Okay. 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 All right. Well, easily done. So, if that's everything you guys are doing for the day,
Also, I'll get some drinks. Yeah.
okay. While you are
Couple-
getting drinks, a
Glass
distinctive.
of bourbon.
You're nursing your bourbon, thinking mostly about spells. A familiar voice does enter your mind. Elysia kind of giggling. So it seems that peace talks are going forward. Maybe I'll see you there. Great performances, by the way.
Wait,
What? I'm confused.
is that
Erland
Wait.
has a dryad fuck buddy.
okay? It just kind of pauses mid drink. Oh, how lovely. Thank you. I didn't realize I had an audience.
There's a long, pugnant pause.
Pugnant. Interesting.
voice will-
Eventually, her voice pops up in your head again. Well, you did invite me.
And yet I didn't see you. It's too bad.
Another long pause.
This is using sending, isn't it? Can I make an insight check for that?
Roll an Arcana check.
Well, that's not too bad. Let's see what my plus is. Oh, I forgot my plus is fucking awesome. So 19 total.
Ow.
You
I rolled a
don't know-
13.
You don't know of sending as a spell, but at the same time, you've had enough experience over the past little while with this sort of arcana. You're fairly certain it is some sort of sending spell.
Something akin to it. at
Something
least.
akin to it, yeah. I'm fairly confident that you don't know sending is an actual spell. You're just aware this is...
I may know it exists, but I don't know it personally.
As Arduin would say, it's magical faff.
Wait, hold on, give me a second. Is sending a divination spell?
I don't believe it's a divination spell.
It might be illusion or something like that. Maybe.
No, sending it. If you're wondering about the school of magic, you did.
Yeah.
You did roll high enough to understand this. It is a. It is an evocation school.
Really? Sending is evocation?
Technically, yes.
That's fucking weird. Why the fuck did wizards put it there?
Honestly, I'm not sure, but a plethora of different classes and things can use it.
Well, yeah, no, I mean like Wizards of the Coast. Why did you put it under evocation? That's fucking weird.
Not sure.
Like, honestly, I'd say that should be a divination spell. I'm not going to argue it because, well, I'm just table talking at this point.
Eventually, her voice comes through. This is my last message. But no, anytime you're outside the city walls, you may well be watched. Maybe not by me, but someone. Anyways, do sleep well. Bye.
It's been a pleasure. Do take care. I hope to see you next time. 24 words right there, Drew.
I'm
Actually,
counting.
that was
a little less.
That was less. That was 14 words.
Yeah. I'm counting, by the way, for these.
Oh
So.
yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, last thing of the evening. Clover.
I sent you the message.
At least I don't do the joke with oh Jesus, what did my brain go to?
1 second.
With Jester.
Oh no!
So,
Please no! No!
It's just like 20 words before even starting her sentence, and then it's
No.
like get cut off.
No. Stop it!
I love that joke so much.
Stop it! Clover, do you want me to text these responses as opposed to say, or does it matter?
Texting would be good because it helps me write stuff down.
Okay.
And like the other two aren't listening in on them anyway, so
Yeah.
it's more in game for them not to know, you know?
Yes.
To the unique.
Meanwhile, every time someone tries to like magically communicate with Arduin, and he's just like, "What the fuck?"
Fuck. Fuck.
The link
Fuck.
in Discord.
All right. So,
Adam.
it takes a little while, but eventually you all regale in. What is this?
Ah, yes.
Oh, fax machine.
No, dial-up.
Really says.
I didn't wait for it to load. Eventually, you all do find yourselves back at the questionable abode, otherwise known as.
I like that, the questionable toad.
Otherwise known as the Five Horns Cross, but well, you're not even sure if that's the real name of the establishment. Eventually, sleep does take you all. And you awaken in the morning. And, ooh. We've got a little bit of time. I think we can at least get your planning out of the way. So that you could
I
start.
do have to go home soon because
Okay.
I have to drive.
How long do you have?
I
want
it's
to
9:30.
I want to give you guys a chance to plan and to have a full session for the Grand Harvest Festival.
Let's just say this: I went to bed at 7:30 yesterday.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
This is way past bedtime, and I still have a 45-minute drive home.
Okay. Well,
Also, Drew, we have planning of our own to do, so wrap it up.
well, fine. I was gonna try and give you guys the
Wow.
ability to plan
Wow.
shit out and not rush through potentially a deadly encounter, but okay. We'll end there, and you guys can have
Why
fun.
not?
Well, it is actually a nice spot to end, where we're all in the
Oh, I
same
know,
spot.
but I don't. I'm trying to give you guys the best chance at surviving things, and
We can start this next time.
you can
I
start.
think planning next time when we're all fresh is actually probably the best idea.
We'll probably end up with a better survival rate.
Maybe we'll see. All right,
Probably.
very well. We'll end there, and we'll call it a night.